Good evening, good evening, good evening, good evening. Happy Saturday night. Hope you're having a good Saturday. We're going for round two for the debates. Round two. So if you disagree with any of the above claims, please do request to hop up in the box, because I want to talk to you. We did some debates last night. That went pretty well. So I figure, why not go for round two? And so here we are. Round two for our New Age and paranormal research and occult conspiracy theory debates. So if you disagree with any of my above claims, please do request to hop up in the box. Because as some of you who may have been longtime followers may remember, early on when I first started doing this, about 2 years ago, when I first created my account here on TikTok, I had stated that my goal at that time was to build a bridge, right, between the New Age and the occult, and the paranormal and the occult, and the occult conspiracy theory and the occult. And while I feel as though I'm continuing to do that, one thing that I have noticed that the spiritual community on the non-religious side as a whole is missing is the debate platforms, right? We don't see debating from the New Age side of things, from the paranormal side of things, or even the conspiracy side of things. Yet they make videos with claims in them. They should be able to defend those claims in a debating format. And we don't see that at all. Now, you may come across an anomaly where, you know, you're scrolling through your live stream feeds here on TikTok, and you come across most likely a Christian feed, and they have a background similar to mine, but theirs is religious, you know, saying things like, you know, prove to me that your God is real, or, you know, why should I follow your religion, or something along those lines. And you might get the occasional New Ager to pop in there, but as a whole, the community as a whole does not engage in any sort of debate. And I would like to change that. And so I would like to initiate debates with people from the New Age, with people from the paranormal, and with people from the occult conspiracy realm. So if that's you, if you disagree with any of the above points, please do request to hop up in the box, and we will get started. Let me see what's going on down here. Hey, thank you for all the likes. Thank you, thank you. Found a ghost in the other day. Found a ghost in the other day? Found a ghost in what? Where'd you find this ghost? It was in your DMs. Interesting. Well, good luck with that. Good luck with the ghost in your DMs. I'm just a pagan, believe in just about everything. Well, that's not, you probably shouldn't do that. There's a lot of things out there that are false, that are incorrect, and that would lead you down a path of spiritual destruction. I hope you don't believe or see any value in, like, Scientology, or I hope you don't believe or see any value in something like Children of God. There are destructive and harmful beliefs that are out there. I wouldn't believe in just about anything. But pagan religion comes from Babylon. Sun and moon worship goes to Satan. So there were cultures before Babylon. That's just the earliest writings that we can find. But civilization did not start with Babylon. Life did not start in Babylon. There were civilizations and cultures and peoples before Babylon. So no, pagan religion did not start in Babylon. I'm going to need you to study a little bit of anthropology. And sun and moon worship goes to Satan. How is that? What do you like? What sort of foundation do you have for that? And saying my holy book says so is circular reasoning. So spare me the circular reasoning. How do you know that sun and moon worship go to Satan? Oh yeah, I mean deities. Ah, okay. Excuse me. I disagree with number two, but it's based purely on personal experiences between me and other people I have had experiences with. So I would ask, how can you validate that experience? How do you know that that experience was with a legitimate extraterrestrial or the Galactic Federation and not your ego, not your mind, just telling you that it is? What sort of foundation do those experiences stand on? What do you think is being channeled when people claim to be communicating with ETs? Most of the time, nothing. Just their own ego, just their own mind. The ones who are doing it for money, like the big guys, the Billy Carsons and the Jay Campbells and the Elizabeth Aprils and, all of those people, the people who are doing it for money know exactly what they're doing. They are conscious of the scam and, they are aware that they're, being fraudulent with people. But the little lesser known people that just claim to be able to do it but aren't really charging any money or anything like that, they're just going through self-delusion, spiritual psychosis. They're not speaking with any sort of entity. Or else I would ask the same thing that I asked Cringe Mystic. What sort of validation would you be able to provide for that? What sort of esoteric, mystical, or occult foundation does that stand on? However, I do feel that 90% of ET channeled material is fraudulent. Yes, I would say all of it. There's what reason on a logical sense. So let's step out of the esoteric for a minute and go into the mundane. In the realm of the mundane, I'm not being mean here because this applies for me as well. Why would an alien need to contact you? Who are you? And that's not me being mean because that applies to me too. Who am I? Why would an alien need to contact me? I have no power. I have no real power in this world. Chances are you have no real power. If you did, you wouldn't be on my live stream. You'd be out exercising your power. You wouldn't be here on my live stream. So what can you do for an ET, this interdimensional, highly advanced, time traveling, dimension jumping entity? What could you, lowly human, limited in our knowledge, extremely limited in power and influence, what can you do for an ET that a president or a king or a prime minister or a emperor or a sheikh or a poobah can't do? What can you do for the elites that a billionaire, someone that has access to space, like Richard Branson, like Elon Musk, like Jeff Bezos? What can you do for an ET that they can't do? There is no reason under the sun, other than your pure ego thinking that you're special, that you would think that an extraterrestrial being who, for all intents and purposes, can be considered a god. I mean, they're jumping through dimensions. They're they're traveling light years, and they're going up and down at the speed of light, according to all these Air Force people who saw them. So this is essentially akin to a god, and they're reaching out to you. For what reason? That doesn't make any sense in any way, shape, or form. Going back into the esoteric, going back into the mystical, going back into the occult, under what mystical, occult, or esoteric foundation does it stand on that you'd be able to contact these spirits or these entities, these beings? And then from there, we can analyze the methodology. Do you recommend the LBRO? I don't know what the LBRO is. I know what the LBRP is. I'm not sure what the LBRO is. She is worshipped as a sun god. Who is worshipped as a sun god? I meant the LBRP. Okay, I mean, it's fine, but it's mainstream. I'm not into the mainstream, I don't want to do what everyone else is doing. I'm not a sheep, and I'm not trying to be offensive. I just don't want to do. Everyone and their mother in the occult talks about and knows about the LBRP. Can we be innovative? Can we be different? Can we not do what everyone else is doing for once? So yes, the LBRP is a fine ritual, but I prefer lesser known rituals like the adjuration of Metatron, as found within the Greek Magical Papyri, as elucidated on in Michael Cittitelli's Book of Abraxas. I prefer lesser known rituals like that. Even things like, even though I'm not a Thalamite, lesser known things like the Star Ruby and those sorts of things. But the LBRP is fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but let's be a little different. We all don't have to follow the same well-worn path. The woman who rides the beast is worshipped as a sun god. Okay. Not sure why you're bringing that up. None of that has anything to do with what is being mentioned above. But thank you for that. Have you ever witnessed possession within an indigenous African tradition? No, I'm not a member of an indigenous African tradition. I have not received any sort of licencia, or I've not been scratched. I've not received eshu into my head, or any of those initiatic experiences from the ATRs or the ADRs. So I've not been privy to any sort of self-possession ritual. I am familiar with them. I have friends that are Hungan Aswoges in Voodoo houses, but I am not a member and therefore not permitted to be present during any of the rituals. What's the deal with the hexagon on Saturn's North Pole? I have no idea. I've not heard of that. If you sell your soul, you get power. According to what? What's your source on that? And what makes that source valid? Maybe it's not about something so simple. What do you mean? Being able to explain something doesn't mean that it's simple. It just means that you understand it. You can explain and understand complex things. We do have rockets out there. Rocket science is not a simple thing. That's a complex thing, yet we have rockets. We have neurosurgeons out there. Neurosurgery, neuroscience is not a simple thing, yet there are people out there who work in this field every day, all day. Just because something is not complicated doesn't mean that it can't be explained. Maybe there's something beautifully simple yet profound that can't be so easily quantified. Maybe, but you'd have to provide some sort of I don't like to deal in wishes and dreams and wonderments. I like to deal in what is. And if we're not sure what is, we should be able to have a map on how to get to find out what is. And that map that we have should be backed up by actual foundational information and knowledge that we can track back to something. We can't just make it up, or else we all would just pull things out of our butt and no one can tell us that you're wrong because that's mean and that's low vibration. And no, stop that. There are incorrect beliefs out there. There are incorrect systems out there, and we should be able to tell people that that is incorrect. I'm not being mean. I'm not putting anybody, I'm not mocking anybody. I'm not calling anybody out of their name. I'm not bullying anybody. I'm simply pointing out misinformation, inconsistencies, logical fallacies in terms of esotericism, occultism, and mysticism, and offering the correction. I might be doing it in a direct tone, and in this world, in the West, in this Western world of sensitivities where everyone's mean, if you're not accepting of everything and everything, it might come off as me being mean, but I'm not. I'm simply offering correction to misinformation, to lies, to deception. And if you have an argument to counter that, that's great. But hopefully you have some foundation to back it up. Level up, my brother. This is disinformation. How so? Can you present how so? Request to come up in the box, King Babe Truth, and let's talk about how this is disinformation. E.T. can give sacred knowledge to rule the world. How do you know this? Do you recommend the lesser ritual of the pentagram? I mean, you can do it. There's nothing wrong with it. I don't prefer the stuff that is easily found in any Golden Dawn book that you can find on your bookshelf at Barnes & Noble. I prefer to go deeper. It's fine that, you want to do any of these mainstream Golden Dawn, Rosicrucian type rituals. That's fine. There's nothing wrong with them. I prefer to do things that require deeper practice. But if you would like to do the lesser banishing rituals and the greater banishing rituals and the lesser and greater invoking rituals and all that, fine. There's nothing wrong with them. But everyone knows them. Why would I want to do what everyone else is doing? I like individualism. I could blow your mind, but you think you know what you're talking about. So then blow it. That's how I know you can't. If you could blow my mind, you would simply request to come up. You would come up and you would present evidence that would blow our mind. But you're not. You're just saying that you can. So, okay. Luciferianism. What about it? That's not part of the topics that are being discussed. What are your thoughts on the Anunnaki concept? In what way? What do you mean by that? What do you mean by that? Do I believe in this Zechariah Sitchin, planet Nibiru and, all this other Anuna gods are going to come back and all this other nonsense? No. I think that's a wild and gross misunderstanding of Sumerian mythos. But what do we expect? Zechariah Sitchin didn't have any sources. Like, you can literally look at the back of the book and you're not going to find a bibliography, a work cited, references, continued reading, furthered reading, continued studied. You're not going to find any of those sections in the back of the book. So that way you can continue your education in the Sumerian mythos, because it's not based on any actual Sumerian mythos. It's some overall arching global macro take on what the Sumerians believed. And that's it. That's what we go with. Unfortunately, that's not what I go with. I prefer books like Rod and Ring by Samuel David from Anathema Publishing, which is an introduction to Mesopotamian religion, society, and culture. And this book has 10 pages of bibliography with scholarly, academic sources, so that way you can continue your education in understanding what the Sumerians, the Babylonians, the Mesopotamians, whatever you prefer to call them, what they actually and truly believed, not what Zechariah Sitchin thinks and is trying to tell you that they believe. So, level up. I won't watch you again. Bye. That's fine. That's fine. You don't have anything to teach anyone here, or else you would have done so, right? This is a common New Age, common paranormal trope, right? Oh, I would teach you, but you're just too low vibrational. You just think you know everything. So, okay, so even if you didn't care about teaching me, even if you really didn't care about me and enlightening me, what about the 47 other people that are in here? Why don't you care about them? You're so high vibrational. You're so intergalactic, cosmic, this and that. Why don't you care about the other people that are in here, and why don't you teach them? But you don't. So, do you recommend the lesson? All right, I'm not going to keep. That's the third time you've asked that question, and I've answered it twice already. I'm not going to answer another LBRP question. How about the Goetia? What about the Goetia? You can actually channel ETs. How so? How do you know that? Can you give your view on the rituals in the movie Hereditary? Based on some real stuff. They themselves are not real. But it's based on real things. Ari Aster had a consultant on set. You don't have to believe me. It'll take you. I know. Something that isn't spoon-fed to you is not easy, but you can go on IMDb and you can look up the movie Hereditary. It's free. Go on IMDb, look it up, and go in their credits. They had a consultant on set, like most movies and shows that deal in the supernatural and want some air of legitimacy. They have a occult or a supernatural or a witchcraft or a demonic or whatever term the producers decide to call it. They have that consultant on set, and it's usually a occult expert. Sometimes it's an academic, like a professor of like religious studies from whatever university, and they have a specialty in like ritual magic or occultism. And sometimes it is actual occultists and witches that are like authors and speakers. They go around the world to like conferences and things like that, and they speak. They had one on set. So it's based in some kind of reality, but they're obviously not doing real rituals on camera. But it is inspired by real rituals. But of course, they still have to entertain you. Real magic isn't entertaining. It's actually quite boring. At least watching it, engaging in it might, but when you're watching it, it's quite boring. So they have to entertain you. So there's the entertainment elements to it. But yes, it is based, that Midsummer, all those things, they're based on some reality. Ghosts don't exist, but there are natural and supernatural forces we are not to mess with. So ghosts do exist. I would urge you to look into necromancy and necrosophy. The dead have been worked with since the beginning of time, since man first died. There have been spiritual practices that were the undercurrent to death and funerary rites. So take your pick for which culture you want to study it from. I recommend books like Sabbatica, compiled by Edgar Kervil, Conjure Codex, compiled by the late great Jake Stratton Kent, or At the Crossroads. Are some excellent texts on necromancy and necrosophy. If you want to go a little deeper, things like the Liber Falcifer series is fantastic. That's a South American, almost Kimbadarian style of necromancy. There's I don't speak the language, so I'm probably mispronouncing this, but Persinyang and Gilderbrock, I'm probably mispronouncing that, but necromancy from like northern Scandinavian and Norse type of practices. So ghosts certainly do exist. I would urge you to begin looking into necromancy and necrosophy. Is coffee bad for you spiritually? Not that I am aware of. So what do you think is the grain of truth in the starseed concept? So the starseed concept is real. The problem is you're not a starseed. Unless you meet one criteria, and the chances of the person meeting the criteria being on my live stream is slim to none. It's possible, but it's slim to none. The starseed belief is a real thing. It's believed by the Hopi people. But the problem is everyone seems to forget that the Hopi people are very explicit in their mythos on who this lore is for. And it's for the Hopi people and their surrounding tribes. There's a couple of other tribes that aren't officially Hopi, but like are affiliated with them, so they accept them, and I guess they're special too. But it's not for me. And chances are it's not for you, and it's not for people in China and Africa and Europe. It's not for them. It is specifically for the Hopi and the 3 or 4 other adjacent tribes that they are affiliated with. That is who it's for. It's not for you and I. It's for them. That's their mythos. That's their lore. They believe their ancestors came from the Pleiades and crashed on Earth, and like literally into the Earth. And then when they came out of the earth, they had bodies because they crashed here as spirits. And but not in a ship, like the spirit actually itself fell out of the sky like a comet and hit the ground, hit the earth, went into the earth. And when they came out, they had bodies. That's their mythos. That's their star lore. But that's for them. They don't believe you and I came from that. They believe they came from that. So unless you are a descendant of the Hopi, and maybe you are, and if you are, then what I'm saying doesn't apply to you. You're a starseed. But 99.99% of the people claiming to be starseeds are not. They're just not. They are appropriating, which is, I live in the US, so what should I expect anything different? But that's what's happening here. So it's not that the starseed concept as a whole is fake, it's how the vast majority of people here in the West are going about it. Any tips for beginners trying to get into the occult? Yes, I have a getting started playlist, and I'm going to be doing a 5 steps course that's going to be coming up that I'm going to be releasing in my series. But for right now, you can take a look at my getting started playlist. I have several videos on methodologies and techniques that you can use to get started, and about 5 videos for books that I recommend that you use to get started. Unless you're able to get lucky and you find a coven or a temple or an order or a grove or a associate or a circle or something to train in and learn from, that's very rare. But if you are able to find one, great. But if not, then you have to rely on books and internet learning and stuff like that. So I have about 25 book recommendations for beginners to get started with. And there is no doubt after those 25 books, even if you only read half of them, that you won't need to ask these kind of questions. Not that there's a problem with them, but it will set you up for being able to chart your own path within the occult. Why don't you believe in star seeds? Hopefully you just heard my answer to that. No one is immune to brainwashing. Amen. I think someone did a hair loss hex on you. Har, 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 har. That was funny. We all laughed. Do another one. Do you practice demonology? I don't know if you can practice demonology. Demonology is the study of demons. So I study demons, sure. I don't really practice demonology. Do I work with demons? Yes. I do work with demons. I actually have my table. I have 2 table of practices that I use. This is my angelic table of practice. You can see the names of the angels. Michael, Raphael, Uriel, and Gabriel on the side here. But then in a darker wood, I have my demonic one. Now this wood is darker, so you might not be able to as clearly see the names, but hopefully you can see the wood burns in there. You can see the markings and stuff, but it's darker wood, so you're not really able to really read it. And sorry, all that noise falling, I have seals inside, so it's falling around as I'm moving it. There are seals on the inside of here. It opens up and I can keep spirit seals on the inside. See all that? Oh, sorry, wrong side. There's a bunch of seals. Oh, it's falling out. There's a bunch of seals in there that I use. Spirit seals, demon seals. So yes, I do work with demons, but you can't really practice demonology. That's more of a study. This got cringe and ironic real quick. How so? Do you have any beliefs surrounding eclipses? In what way? What do you mean? Do you believe in karma? Yes, but not in the way that you're probably thinking, right? The Western concept of karma is exactly that, a Western concept. And what do we do here in the West with anything we get that isn't originally ours, which is pretty much everything? We water it down. We water it down so it's more easily sellable, marketable, commercialized to sell it to you, right? So karma in the West is just what goes around comes around. Yep, that's it. Just what go, and that's not. It's much more to it than that. Essentially, karma is a balance keeping thing, and it doesn't mean that if you punch someone, eventually someone's going to punch you. If you steal something, someone's going to steal something from you. That's like we're not 12 years old anymore. Like that's not how it works. That's a very Western concept. Someone who is Hindu or Buddhist should explain it to you in deeper context. But it's mainly a balance keeping sort of a system. Will being initiated in a practice improve the results of a ritual, or is it just to feel official? So, being initiated is not going to give you any extra power or anything like that, at least not in the way that you're thinking. The purpose of initiation is twofold. Depends on what you're getting initiated into. If it's a Western system, it is the passing on of mysteries. So if we're talking about Rosicrucianism, or in a modern context, there is no hermetic initiation, but in a classical context, there is. But that doesn't exist anymore because we don't have the vast majority of those fragments. So therefore, we don't have it in official context. But originally, the Egyptian mysteries did have it, or the Eleusinian mysteries, the Mithraic, mysteries. That was to pass on the mysteries, right? There was certain knowledge, certain information that the layperson was not privy to. And to get initiated meant that you were now worthy of this knowledge and access to these deities or to these spirits that the layperson was not. What we find when we look into history, like really look, not your 8th grade history book, but when you become an adult and you actually have a brain and you can think for yourself and you really look into history and you look into these ancient cultures, you'll see that the noble, the royal, and the priest class always was of a double mind. And if you're coming from a Christian sort of perspective, I can understand how you might not be able to comprehend double mind because your Bible speaks explicitly against that. So you've been brought up to not have double mind, but they did. And they would have a public religion and a public laity and a public clergy and things that they would do for the public. And then behind the scenes, they would have deeper mysteries that you would need permission and initiation to get access to. And you got this through your integration. So not just learning the occult and the esoteric and the mystical, but integrating it into the subtle bodies. You might in the New Age call these things meridians and chakras and all that. It has to be integrated into the subtle bodies so that way you can, as the Bible says, know them by their fruits. That means their actions, the things that they do. They don't have to tell you that they are an adept, that they are a priest of whatever. You can tell by their actions. So that's in the West. If we're talking about voodoo or Santeria or Kimbanda or something along those lines, it is permission. It is not a receiving of the mysteries. The mysteries are kind of already taught to you. It is permission, licencia, to work with spirits that are normally hot. And I don't mean hot as in they're attractive. I mean hot as in they are quick to anger and slow to cool down. These are spirits that have a particular nature, and that nature needs to be kindled with certain ritual actions and certain materia magica. And these spirits have set forth protocol, of which you need permission to utilize and work with. And if you do not, which is on you, again, the spirits are hot, quick to anger and slow to cool down. You don't know how to cool these spirits down. So you've just invoked the wrath of, Eshu of the seven, crossroads or something like that. And now you don't know what to do to get rid of them. So it depends on what you're talking about when it comes to the initiatic experience. There's a Western mystery element to it, and then there's a folky permission, access to bloodlines and access to lines of different spirits. So that's how I would answer that. I love the vibe, so sassy. I can walk into a building and activate spirit. Interesting. What do you mean by that? I couldn't find your video on shamanic journeying. It's right on my front page. Just click on series. When you're on my main TikTok, just click on series and it'll be in the series. Hello, Mystic. Hey, Ebony, what's up? What's up? Are cats aliens? No, cats are felines. Maybe it's about blood type. Maybe what is about blood type? Finally here again. So nice to see you. What's up, Strange Girl Bone Collector? What's up? Let's stop all your doubts about the supernatural. Would travel outside the country with me to Haiti? I don't think you understand what I'm doing here. I believe in the super. I am an occultist. Do you see the very, very top thing? It says initiated occultist witch. I am an occultist. I'm here to debunk the New Agers. I'm here to debunk the paranormal researchers. I'm here to debunk the occult conspiracy theorists. So, if you disagree with any of the above, please hop in the box. Let's talk it out. Hey, Professor Mystic, how was your day? My day was great. How was yours? My day was great. How was yours? God told me time is running out. Seek a relationship with Jesus Christ while you have time. People, you've been saying that for a while. And so has every other Christian. So, how do you join a coven? You'd have to find one. And you'd have to see if they're accepting new members. You can't just join. It's not like a job where you can just go and apply on their website. You have to find one and find out if they are accepting new members. And if so, find out what you got to do to become a new member. Most of them will make you study under one of their, not high priests or high priestess, but one of the lesser priests and things like that. They'll make you study under them for what I had to do was a year and a day. That was the general thing in any like Wiccan-esque and neo-pagan type covens, which is the one that I came up in, the Elderwood Coven. So I did a year and a day, but it would depend on whatever coven or whatever you're from. Y'all were not starseeds. That is correct. That's exactly what I'm saying. Are you misreading what's being said above? Do you do angel magic? Yes, I do. How aren't most celebs not satanic puppets that practice Satanism? Because as an occultist, I am very familiar with Satanism, and when I look at these celebrities and the things that you guys say are satanic, stuff like this and this and this and this and all this other nonsense and all this other stupid stuff, when I'm reading my occult books, when I'm reading satanic texts that I have, Luciferian text, they don't mention anything like that. When I'm live from TikTok for desktop, so not on my phone, but from my PC, and we're able to read books together, and we're reading things like the Scrolls of Set from Michael Aquino's Temple of Set, their own internal writings to each other. If there was ever a place back in the 70s and 80s, before there were cell phones and things like that, if there was ever a place for you to talk about your diabolical satanic undertakings, it would be in your own internal letters to each other. I have like 12 years worth of letters from Michael Aquino's own Temple of Set. From Michael Aquino himself, his wife, his high-ranking members, low-ranking members, they're all talking to each other through letters. They don't mention any diabolical plan. There's no, are we going to sacrifice the children on Saturday night? It's actually normal club or business stuff. We need more chairs. Can someone order chairs? Who didn't take out the trash at the last meeting? Somebody forgot to bring the sodas. Oh, we're promoting so-and-so. So-and-so just got a promotion to high priest. That's what they're talking about. Sometimes they do actually talk about the occult and magic, but they never talk about these diabolical things. If there was ever a place to do it, that's where it would be, not in public. Why? Because in the occult, we teach something known as the 4 tenets of witchcraft. Do you know what they are? I'm sure you do, since you seem to be a knowledgeable conspiracy theorist. You've done all your research, right? So surely you know about the 4 tenets of witchcraft. To know, to dare, to will, and the 4th one, to be silent. To not speak about your magic and the spells that you're doing, or as we call them, your workings, to not talk about your workings until after they manifested. Why is this important? Because it smacks in the face of your conspiracy of the revelation of the method. There is no revelation of the method, as you conspiracy theorists like to say. They have to tell you what they're doing before they do it. So they put it in the movies, and they put it in the music videos, and they put it in the books and the commercials. They tell you what they're doing, so when they stand before God on Judgment Day, they can say, well, God, we told them, and they did it anyway, so it's not our fault, it's their fault. That's ridiculous, and that's not written anywhere. That's not written anywhere. Except for, let me be 100% transparent. Alice Bailey does have a book called The Revelation of the Method, but it is not about revealing any method. It's about some hidden brotherhood of light or some new age nonsense. It has nothing to do with revealing a method. But the new age, the conspiracy theorists, they hope that you don't go and actually do your own research. They hope that you do exactly what you do and you just believe them, and then you become a parrot and you start spouting it. Well, I've read Alice Bailey. I own almost every book she's ever written. I've read Blavatsky. I own almost every book she's ever written. They don't mention this revelation of the method in the way that, well, Blavatsky doesn't say it at all. Alice Bailey says it as the title of her book, but there is no revealing of any grand globalist method, because that would go against the actual teachings of the occult. But none of you conspiracy theorists know that, because none of you conspiracy theorists actually study the occult. Do you think demons are evil? Some demons are evil. Not all demons are evil. The Goetia, the most popular catalog on demons. I'm sure you're familiar with the Goetia, yes? Even the Goetia tells us this. There are several demons in the Goetia that are said to be of a good nature, mild-mannered. There's even one demon who hopes to return to his former glory as an angel, hopes to be forgiven by God and restored as an angel. You can't be evil doing that. No, not all demons are evil. Many are evil, sure, but not all demons are evil. We need to drop this angels are good, demons are evil thing. That's not how it goes. Angels are not good. They are simply messengers. That is it. Are you aware, in the Bible, I can't speak for the Quran or the Talmud or anything like that, but in the Bible, anytime God destroyed something, anytime God wiped out an entire nation or wiped out entire peoples or whatever, he didn't snap his fingers and it happened. He sent angels down to do that work. That's literally in the Bible. He sent angels down to destroy, to maim, to harm, to unalive, to wipe out. He sent angels down to do that. Do you think that that's good? Oh, well, God told me to do it there. So if God tells you to do something evil, it's good? No. It might be justified, but it's still a bad thing. Angels aren't all good. Angels can do as much harm as a demon can do good. So, I'm an occultist, but also a communist. Really? Well, that's cool, I guess. I'm not, but that's great. All right. I'm 80 questions behind because for those of you who are regulars here, you know that I really do this shit, and I'm not some guy who, started yesterday. And so I give in-depth responses. And so I am now 80 questions behind. So I'm going to skip up or else I'll never catch up. So if I skip your question, please do ask it again and we will get back to it. We'll skip up to like 15. Here we go. Satan will tell those he misguided that these people themselves chose. Chose what? Chose what? There is no, if you're referring to the revelation of the method, there is no such thing. There is no such thing. Right? You can Google it right now. Go ahead and Google Alice Bailey, Revelation of the Method. And you tell me what the description of the book says that it's about. You tell me what the back of the book says that the book is about. You tell me what the Amazon reviews tell you what the book is about. Because it's not about revealing some global plan to destroy families and go after the kids and usher in goddess worship and all this other nonsense. There's more Ifa than Satanism in celebs and elites. I agree. It's true. Once you research true satanic Luciferian stuff, it's all about apoptosis. Apotheosis, yes. Most Satanists, or at least the theistic Satanists, they're all about apotheosis, yes. They're all about becoming God. I don't agree with that. I'm not a Satanist, so I certainly don't agree with that. That's not possible in my worldview, but that's great. I don't need to read. I just eat marshmallows and meditate. Well, if that's what works for you, if eating marshmallows brings you to enlightenment, then Kevin Anderson, Mr. Anderson, continue eating marshmallows. And there are bad angels. Yes, there are bad angels. Most people must not be familiar. The beings in hell that give out the punishments that are actually doing the now we're going with the assumption that hell is real, right? So we're going with the Christian paradigm that hell is real. Under that paradigm, the beings in hell that flesh out the punishments, those aren't demons. Those are angels. It's the angels of punishment that give out. There's 7 of them. There are 7 angels of punishment. We learn this from the Testament of Solomon, from the 16th century. 14th century, excuse me. We learn this from the Testament of Solomon. These 7 angels of punishment are under the angel, or depending on which church father you want to listen to, the angels, plural, of death. It's not demons in hell poking you and prodding you and biting you and torturing you. It's angels. I don't know what the demons are doing. They're probably not even there. Well, if we go with what the Bible says, it says that Satan and his demons, or his angels, will be thrown into the lake of fire, and then the lake of fire thrown into hell. But it's angels that are giving out the punishment. People who go on TikTok with boards say that they're talking to spirits. I don't believe. No, yes, they're not. They're not. I literally just did my most recent video. Please go show it some love, because I think I'm being shadow banned. But anyway, my most recent video that I put out today is refuting another alleged witch claiming that she makes her own Ouija board, and she makes it in the Solomonic style and all this other stuff. And I had to put a whole debunk to that. It's like 7 minutes long. Thank God TikTok allows us to do like 10-minute long videos now, because I did like a 7-minute debunk of her nonsense. So check that out. Show it some love. I heard some angels are vampiric, means they feed off of you. That's not good. I am not aware of any vampiric angels, but that doesn't mean that there aren't any. I just can't think of any. Do you know their names, or what sources these angels come from? And I can look. I have a pretty extensive collection of medieval and Renaissance Christian theological texts, which is the bulk of what modern day Western occultism is built on. So let me know, and we can take a look. We can take a look. Noah's Ark. What about Noah's Ark? He didn't send angels for Noah. I think you might need to read some of the Judaic texts, because he certainly did. Love the skepticism. Well, it's not just skepticism. It's just not, I'm not just like, I don't know. There's something fishy is going on here. That's skepticism. I am directly refuting it and providing my sources for the refutation. I'm not just being skeptical. Like, I don't know. Maybe he is, or maybe he isn't. I'm saying, no, you're not a starseed. No, you're not channeling ETs. No, most celebs and elites are not Satanists. And no, your ghost hunting methods don't work. I'm outright saying that, and I am 100% willing to stand behind each and every one of those statements as stated. Do you believe the things in the Bible then? No. And they, i.e. people, learn what harms them and does not benefit them. Quran 2:102. Thank you for that. We're not talking about Islam, but thank you. Do you think stars are water systems? What do you, like oceans and rivers? No. Or do you mean like plumbing? Like, what do you mean water systems? No, they're not water systems. Repent, for the kingdom of God is at hand. Get right with God before it's too late. Thank you. How do you feel about atheists who say this stuff isn't real? I say, look at my second pinned video. So the pinned, I think you can only do 3 per row if you're on mobile. So the one that's in the middle pinned video, I will tell them to watch that video. It's about how mainly all of spirituality, but in this context, we're talking about the occult. How occultism is not a spectator sport. You can't put on your lab coat, grab your tablet and your stylus and take notes as you observe occultism. I mean, you can. I can't stop you from doing that, but you're not going to see what you're expecting to see. This isn't Doctor Strange. This isn't Sabrina. This isn't Shadow Hunters and The Magicians. This isn't The Boys and Gen V. And that's not how powers or magic or supernatural things work. That's not how it works. It's more natural than it is supernatural, right? So I would tell them that if you don't agree or believe with any of this stuff, I say prove it to yourself. Take the scientific approach and try the experimentation for yourself. Record your results. Maybe do it again. record your results. Compare those results. Maybe compare those results to other people who've done the work results. That's called peer review. Maybe try the scientific approach to it and see how you fare. But it is not a spectator sport. I can't show you I can show you my Samsung Buds. I can't show you a spirit. I can't go, here it is. Here's magic. This is a spiritual thing. It is illogical to think that I can show physically something that is spiritual. Right? So you have to engage with spirituality. In this case, the occult, the esoteric, the mystical. There are some things, natural theology, natural magic, that you can just observe, like astrology and things like that. But the bulk of what we talk about in the occult, in the esoteric, and in the mystical needs to be experienced. And the beautiful thing about the occult that the New Age can't say is that it's repeatable. My entire page is full of techniques and methodologies that you can try tonight. You don't got to go out and buy expensive crystals and wands and listen to binaural beats and all this other nonsense. The occult is repeatable. It's not trust me, bro. That's the New Age. Trust me, bro. And if you don't believe me, then you're low vibrational, you're still asleep, all these other New Agey ad hominems. The occult isn't like that. The occult says, oh, you don't believe me? You have two options. You can just continue not believing me, or you can try it for yourself and see where you net out. So that's what I would say to an atheist or to a skeptic who is like, none of this is real. Engage. And let's talk after you've engaged. Would Orisha, Loa, Voodoo be considered demons? Not to me. I'm not a Christian. Thoughts on the view that the God of the Old Testament is really Anu or Anunnaki? I don't agree with any of the Zechariah Sitchin nonsense. I think those sorts of takes are from people who don't have a legitimate understanding of Sumerian mythology. Zechariah Sitchin is not the authority on Sumerian mythos. I would urge you to look into academic and scholarly work on the Sumerians and the Babylonians and the Mesopotamians, whatever you want to call them. Not Zechariah Sitchin, not Billy Carson, not Jay Kenton, not these new agey conspiracy authors. Look at scholars, people who actively go to Iran or Iraq. I forget which one it is. I think it's Iran, but it's one of the Iran or Iraq is the modern day Babylon. They go out there, they do the digs, they take the notes, they collaborate with other experts, like they really do the thing. People like Billy Carson, Zechariah Sitchin, they watch a couple of YouTube videos, maybe interview a so-called expert on their podcast, and now they think they know. No. Witchcraft is also nonsense. How do you know this? The demons are working at the DMV. Are you going to the ninth sphere when you die? I hope so. Well, I hope I go beyond the ninth sphere. Don't forget the 8th, 9th, and 10th. And then there's probably more beyond the 10th. I am confident that I am aware of how to navigate the chain of manifestation back to God. But that remains to be seen. What is a starseed? A modern day appropriator of Hopi mythology and lore. That's what they are. You're a starseed, sir. I am not a starseed. Everyone is. No, we are not. The Hopi is very clear on who the starseeds are, and they are not you and I. Starseeds are real. They're real, but you're not one. I'm very confident that you're not one. Demons are real. The debate was never against demons being real, but thank you. Jinns are real. The debate was never against jinns being real. Occultism is real. I'm not sure why you're saying all this. Those things are not in contention. Out of that list, only the starseeds were in contention. So, Satan is not real. They don't worship Satan. Satan is real, but that's fine if you don't think so. Okay, but we not finna just go work for Hollister. It works energetically. How so? Can you explain this? Ghosts are made up. How do you know this? Your ancestors' DNA may not have started here on Earth. That's all there is to it. Yeah. So how do you know that? You said may. So therefore, it's still up in the air. You don't know, right? You're just guessing. You're hoping. You're wishing. You're dreaming. There is no evidence that we are from some other planet or from some other whatever. So the only thing I disagree with so far is that nobody is channeling ETs. Perhaps I am wrong. I would say you are wrong. No one has been able to provide a argument on either the logical side or the esoteric side on why an ET would be interested in anyone here on Earth that is not a politician, and not just any politician, but like the actual leaders, the rulers, or a billionaire with access to space like Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, or Richard Branson. I don't see why a interdimensional traveling, infinite knowledge, being needs to talk to you or I. There's nothing that we could do for them. There's nothing that we could do for them. Isn't occultism just a higher science? What do you mean by that? Can you define higher science? Kushiel, the original one of God, presides over hell. He lives in the third heaven. Bing bong. Bing bong. When I do magic, I always get a side of the weird. What do you mean? He is 1 out of 7 punishing angels. Exactly. Were you here earlier, that dude, when we were talking about the angels that punish in hell? Well done. Well done. If you can't measure it, how do you know it's real? Repeatable processes, repeatable experiences, right? Unlike the New Age, you can repeat the things that are being done in the occult. You don't have to just believe me, or you don't have to buy my $5,000 retreat to Joshua Tree and meditate with me with a bonsai next to us in order to learn the mysteries and repeat these things. You can just do them. Like I said earlier, I have videos where I give technique that you can do tonight. It's repeatable. True occultists do not worship deities. They honor them. There's a difference. I don't agree with that. There are plenty of occult religions that are out there. I don't think that every occultist venerates. I think there are plenty that do worship. But that's fine if you disagree. But there are religions within the occult. Billy mixes information. Of course he does. You have to. When you're scamming people at the level that he is, you have to be a stage magician. You have to do something over here to distract people from looking over here. And in his case, he'll give you correct information over here. Like, he'll give you an accurate translation of what some hieroglyph says on some temple somewhere in Egypt. So then, because he's giving you a correct explanation on that, subconsciously, you're thinking, then the next thing he's going to talk about, he's also telling the truth. Why would he lie? Because you're going to believe him. That's why he would lie. And you're going to continue to give him money. Are you not familiar with humans? Do you not know how, and not you specifically, I mean just people in general, do you not know how humans work? We're not all these pious, great people. There are some unscrupulous, evil, bad people out there. So, not everyone is starseed. That's true. Most aren't. 99.99% of people claiming starseeds are not starseeds. Are starseeds anti-Semitic? The modern day New Age version of starseeds are, yes. The original Hopi starseeds are not. What is the correct definition of starseed? Someone who is of the Hopi religion and tribe and things like that. Their star lore teaches that their ancestors, not the world's ancestors, their ancestors came from the Pleiades, crashed onto Earth, not in a ship. they came as spirits, and those spirits fell like comets, crashed onto the earth, and when they came like into the earth, and when they came out of the earth, they had bodies, they had human bodies. And so they believe that's where they come from, not you and I. When you know, you know. That's called circular reasoning. I know it because I know it. And that might work for you, but it's not going to work for me, and I hope it doesn't work for most of the other people here. Bashar is nonsense. I have videos debunking Bashar. ETs don't exist. I don't know if they exist or not. I would say, statistically speaking, it's most likely improbable that we're the only life forms in the universe. But if they do exist, they're not contacting anybody on Earth that isn't worth any power, influence, or access to space. Bashar doesn't channel? No. I have videos debunking Bashar. From an esoteric perspective, not just from logic, from esoteric perspective. No. That's a government cover word. What's a government cover word? Do you believe we are our physical bodies alone? No. Wasn't Yahweh originally a warrior god, a storm god? Yes, both. He was both a war god and a god of storms and things like that. Yes. Stop the kufr. What does that mean? What do you mean by that? Thank you for your info. Spiritual and science need a balance of both to reach the furthest truth. I do agree with that. That's why I intellectualize my occultism and my spirituality, because that's how you explain things, right? You shouldn't accept people just saying things. And too many people in here are doing that. They're just accepting whatever someone says. As long as they use pseudo-spiritual terminology, they must be right, right? No, you need to validate this. You need to confirm. Oh, well, I felt it in my heart chakra. Maybe you have indigestion. Maybe you needed to burp. How about that? Maybe not everything that you feel has a spiritual meaning behind it. Sometimes you're hungry. Sometimes you're angry. Sometimes you're happy. Sometimes you're sad for external reasons. Because you're human. I know that's a bad thing for you New Agers to be a human, but you are human. You're not some intergalactic cosmic god. You're a human being. God forbid, if you got into a car accident after this live stream, there's a chance that you could not make it. Intergalactic cosmic star gods don't got to worry about that. But you do. I do. Why? Because we're human. Sorry. I know that that's a controversial topic for you New Agers. You want to be so intergalactic cosmic Gaia goddess thing so bad. But you're not. If someone breaks into your home right now and does violence to you, there is a chance that you could be unalived. I do not wish that on any of you. But if you were intergalactic cosmic god lords, you wouldn't have to worry about that. But you do have to worry about that because you're a human being. Billy is controlled opposition. I can agree with that. I can agree with that. Is this for the sake of debate or to disprove discussion like this I feel are to challenge? It's for all of the above. It's for me being tired of seeing novices, new people who are interested in truly developing their spiritual path, whether it's in occultism or not. Truly interested in developing an authentic, historically accurate spiritual path, and they get led down the wrong way. I used to run 3 different occult forums, and I got tired over 8 years of seeing novices coming onto these forums with half information, partial truths, disinformation, and misinformation from New Agers. I got sick and tired of it. And no one in the occult community was doing anything until those people came to us. We waited for you guys to wake up and come to us and say, I've been wrong this whole time. Show me something. Nobody was going out and saying, hey, I don't know what you guys are doing, but it's not occultism. It's not esotericism. It's not mysticism. You think you're contacting the dead with that spirit box? No, you're not. How and why would that work? Why don't you come over here? I will show you how you can actually interact with the dead through necromancy and necrosophy. And then I can provide foundation for how and why it would work. Not just believe me, bro. Hey, you think that you're over there channeling ascended masters and spirit guides? No, you're not. Under what foundation would that work? Why don't you come over here? I can show you how to actually invoke, evoke, conjure, scry in the spirit vision to actual spirits. And I can provide foundation for how and why it would work. That's why I do it. Because I'm tired of seeing new people being led down the wrong path and wasting 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 years of their life before they finally figure out, oh my God, all of the sound bowls that I've been playing, all the chakra balancing I've been doing, all the aura cleansings I've been doing have gotten me no closer to whatever I think God is. It's gotten me no closer to ascending through the spheres. One day, we're all going to die. I don't care how many sound bowls you over. That doesn't do anything for your soul. I don't care how many meridians you've balanced. That does nothing for your soul. I don't care how much yoga you've done. That does nothing for your soul. I am tired of seeing new people who are interested in having an authentic spiritual practice be led down the wrong path by New Agers. I'm tired of it. So I decided to do something about it. Rather than complain, I decided to make content directly opposing. Thank God TikTok came up with the idea of duetting and stitching. So you can directly refute those people and they get the notification and their audience gets to see it because it ends up in their algorithm. Thank goodness TikTok allows that. I decided to not complain and to step in and do something. So that's what it's for. All of the above. All of the above. And now I'm 99 questions behind, so I'm going to skip up again. If I skip your question, which is most likely because I'm skipping up to like 15, ask it again and we will answer. 15, here we go. I want to listen, but his delivery, it's not helpful. This isn't how people learn. So I'm not here to cater to you, Bubbles. You don't have to like it. There are 8 billion people in the world. Not everyone's going to like what Bubbles likes. Not everyone's going to like what I like. If you do not like my delivery, you can swipe on out of here and continue being deceived. You're trying to tone shame. The information does not change if I say it like this. Doesn't change. It's the same information. Be an adult. Are you 12? Then you shouldn't be on this app. You're an adult, right? You should be used to being spoken to directly. I'm not calling you out of your name. I'm not putting you down. I'm not mocking you. I'm not berating you. I'm speaking directly to you. Because this is an informal platform. You're not here. You're not in front of me. I can't shake your hand. So I speak to you informally. I speak to you directly. Also, I really do this shit. So I'm passionate about this. Because like I just said, I'm sick and tired of seeing people being deceived. So sorry that you don't like the tone. God gave you a thumb and TikTok gave you the swipe up feature. Utilize it. I'm not here to cater to you. You seem to like to hear yourself speak, sir. As long as you're not speaking, Ash. That's all that matters. As long as you're not speaking. What is God to you, sir? It doesn't matter what God is to me. It matters what God is. This is the problem with the spirituality. Well, what do you think? And what do you think? And what if all those people are wrong? Then what? It doesn't matter what you think God is. It matters what God is. And in Hermeticism, God is the all. He is the monad. He is the great architect, as the Masons would say. He is the divine Father. He is the Logos. And he is the Holy Spirit, or the 8th, 9th, and 10th. And he emanates down through the chain of manifestation into the 7, giving energeia to the aeon so they can spin in their fate, which governs us. That's who God is. That's what God is, as far as we know. Because in Hermeticism, we agree with the essence and energy distinction as taught in Orthodox Christianity, which teaches that God is so far removed from his creation that he is not involved. And so because he is not involved, he created lesser beings and lesser deities for us to interact with. And therefore, we can never know God in his true essence. But we can know him through his energies, hence the essence and energy distinction. We can know him through his energeia, through his wusa, through his creation, through his generation. That's what God is. Lamb was Crowley's new special friend. I'm not sure how I feel about Crowley and Lamb. So, aren't you like a magician? Yes. I appreciate your perspective. Thank you very much. Why was the New Age created? It was created to bring about a magical thinking sort of a society. To bring about a society that essentially is going in circles and needs to continuously be governed, right? Because there are spiritual systems out there that put the onus back onto you and allow you to govern for yourself. But the New Age doesn't do that. So, New Agers have no sources for their wild claims. I'm theorizing, but they take it far. Yes, they take it extremely far. They don't have any. 99.9. Actually, we actually did a study, a physical study on a year and a half ago here on TikTok. It's on my YouTube, if you don't believe me, because I upload most of my TikTok streams to YouTube. And for those of you who were in the debate stream last night, yes, that is available on my YouTube as of right now. And this one will be available tomorrow. But last year, about a year and a half ago, I decided to test out my theory on, do most New Age books really not have any sources? So, live on TikTok for desktop, we went on Amazon. We opened up 10 tabs. I told the audience, they picked the book, not me, because I don't want anyone to accuse me of being biased. Oh, you're only picking the books that you know don't have a bibliography, so you're being biased. Okay, so the audience, you pick the books. You pick 10 random books. As long as they have the Look Inside Me feature, we'll use it. You pick 10 random New Age books. They picked them, we opened them. We went to the table of contents, we looked inside to see if they had a bibliography. Why is that important? Because that shows you their sources, where they're getting their information, or if they're just making it up, if they're just pulling it out of their ass. Lie to you not. You can verify this by checking my YouTube video. 80% of the New Age books did not have a bibliography. 80%. Actually, let me be honest. It was 70% because there was one book that did have something at the end, but it was a weird word that I've never heard of. It was in some other language, and I didn't Google it. So that could have been a bibliography or a works cited or further reading or continued study or references or something like that. But it wasn't any of those words. It was some weird foreign word. And I decided to concede and give that to them. So 70% of their books did not have a bibliography, and 30% did. Those are bad numbers. Then we did the flip side. I said, okay, now we need to compare this to something. Let's compare it to the occult. So I said, audience, I'm going to type in occultism. You pick. I'm not going to pick because you guys are going to accuse me of choosing the books that I know have a bibliography. So audience, you pick. I scrolled through the books. The audience picked whatever 10 that they felt were best. And we looked inside of them. We went to the table of contents. And what do you know? It was literally the exact opposite. 80% of the occult books had a bibliography. 20% did not. This is what I'm talking about. We in the occult have no issue providing our sources and our foundation for what we believe and why we believe it and why we're doing things a certain way. But the occult, the New Age, you guys can't say that. It's just a bunch of believe me. And if you don't believe me, then you are low vibrational and you're mean and all this other nonsense. So, speak to me directly, sir, please. I did. I used your name. I said, as long as you're not speaking, Ash, I used your name. Don't act like you didn't hear me. I used your name as it's presented here on the screen. So, you literally are mocking and condescending constantly. Am I mocking and condescending you? No. I'm mocking and condescending the New Age community and the paranormal community as a whole, not you. If you feel personally attacked, that's a you problem. Maybe you need to man up a little bit. Okay? Because no one said talk or TikTok therapy, you are this, and that. But for some reason, me speaking ambiguously, you feel attacked. That's a you issue. That's a you issue. Annoyance with how the spiritual community works these days. This is refreshing. Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that. Most people here do think it's refreshing. It's the New Agers who can't get over their lack of being able to provide foundation, that they want to hold on to their belief because of their feelings. Those are the ones that are lashing out. It has nothing to do with tone. It has everything to do with tone, because you're not refuting anything I'm saying. There's only two things here. It's either the way I'm saying it or what I'm saying. If you can't refute what I'm saying, then it's the way I'm saying it, which is the tone. So if it's not the tone, then please directly refute what I'm saying. Yes, this adults wanting to be spoken to like children. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it. I'm not being mean. I'm not saying so-and-so, you are, some ad hominem. That's not what I'm doing. And that's how these people are taking it, because they're upset that they cannot directly refute what I'm saying. He probably has not gotten to your comments yet. He reads them one by one. Thank you, Sid. Thank you, Sid. Some people just have no patience, but they're so spiritual. Oh, they balance their chakras and the auras and the unicorns, but you got no patience. They are so triggered in these comments. I know it's the craziest thing. How are you, man? I'm doing well, David Espinoza, realtor. How are you? I hope you sold a house today. We could all be wrong. But at least I was able to provide evidence for my stance, my position. I'm open to being wrong, but at least I can show my work. You just want me to believe that your answer is the right answer without showing me how you got to that answer. No, I'm not going to do that. God is the all divine spark. Well, the divine spark is in us. God isn't the spark. The spark is what is within us, the soul. But I think I understand what you mean. Who is Sophia? Sophia is wisdom. Sophia, in the Hermetic chain of manifestation, is technically God's first thought. The first thought God had, he created wisdom, and that was Sophia. And then Sophia generated what the Gnostics would call the archons. We call them the spheres or the fates, but the Gnostics call them the archons. Sophia generated them. She doesn't really play too much of a role in Hermetic cosmology outside of being the progenitor, of this universe. Or this galaxy, not this universe, this galaxy. But, yeah, that's who she is. She is wisdom. God is real. He has a warm and compassionate presence. I don't doubt that God is real. You speak of the Logos. Yes, the Logos, the Word. Who was Sophia? I just answered that. Have you any online archive recommendations other than Twilight Grotto or Grimoire CZ? You can do VK Books. You can do Sacred Texts. You can do academia.edu. The free version is fine. You don't need to pay for the premium version. And you can just do the tried and true method of Googling the title of the book that you want plus PDF. So, for example, if you wanted Modern Magic, you would Google Modern Magic PDF or Modern Magic Donald Michael Craig PDF. So, that way it knows exactly what you're talking about and not going to show you a bunch of different books with the same title. If you put the title and the author plus PDF. The 7 that be answer to you and me. What do you mean by that? That's what God is in Hermeticism. Yes, correct. That's what I was saying. I literally said in Hermeticism, and then I said what God is. New Age is revised and updated old age controlled mechanism, state-sponsored religion. Not fully. That would presuppose that it literally takes some religion from the ancient world and just puts it in a modern context, and it's used for control. It is an extremely watered down amalgamation of many different ancient classical belief systems, not just one or two specific ones. Many have been watered down. This isn't a debate. This is you getting angry and yelling about magic. That's fine. Even if that is what it is, can you provide any evidence against what I'm saying? Or are you just going to complain that this isn't a style and format that you like? Because that's what you're doing. Do you have any arguments against what I'm saying, or are you just going to continue to tone shame? What is a safe, repeatable, and easily reproducible way to communicate with the demon? Well, assuming that you have your third eye open and you are able to effectively raise, direct, and release energy, you can work with the black dragon. That's a pretty practical, easy method of contacting demons. You can work with the Virum. That's a practical way. I would go with Jake Stratton-Kent's Virum, not Joe Peterson's Virum. You can work with even though I don't consider it to be this way, the Goetia is practical, even though I don't think it is with some of the requirements. It is practical in its requirements. So you could try that. What would you say to people that say that the occult belongs in the same category as the New Age? I'd say that they are correct. The issue is that they got it backwards. The New Age belongs into the occult. The problem is that the New Age is watered down occultism. That's what people aren't understanding. It's occultism. It's just extremely watered down to an unrecognizable state. Like anyone who's ever gone to a restaurant or a fast food place and you've ordered a soda and it's really, really late at night, like they're about to close. So chances are you got the bottom of the bag soda. It doesn't taste like the soda that you asked for. It's watered down. And it's probably really, really light and clear because it's watered down. That's what the New Age is. But they're selling it to you as if it's a fresh bag of Coke or a fresh bag of Pepsi or Sprite or whatever you want. But it's not. It's the bottom of the bag, end of the night, and you're selling it to me like it's the real thing. It's impossible to know what God is. I said that. Were you not around when I talked about the essence and energy distinction? Do you, you people just pick and choose what you want to hear. You're so upset that I don't agree with your position on things. You pick and choose what you want to hear. It's the craziest thing. Do you think that the drug war is being used to inhibit the ability to experience spiritual connection? No. Because the drugs that you can use to have a legitimate experience, to have a legitimate spiritual experience, Jesus Christ, you can get on the street. You call your favorite guy who does that, who sells those things, and he'll have, if he doesn't have it, he knows someone who has it. It's not hard to get. We could know, and then sometime after, someone could discover something completely contrary to what is now. That's fine. They would then provide the foundation and the evidence, and then we would move on to that thing until that is disproven or improved upon or something like that. But that's what you're missing, right? To improve upon something, there's a trail that's left behind to show how we got from where we are now, or from where we were before, to the improvement. You can't show, that's the whole point I'm making. You can't show that with your New Age practices. You can't show me how we got from, just as an example, channeling as the Sibylline oracles would do it in Greece, to how you guys do it now in the New Age. You can't show me the breadcrumbs so I can connect the dots. You can't. You can't. I can show you how and why my practice now is just as effective as it was in the 1500s, the 1400s, all the way back to 4th to 2nd century BCE. I have my receipts. I have my paper trail. I know where my practices come from. I'm aware of the history of my religion and my beliefs. And that history informs what I'm doing right now and allows me to understand what I'm doing right now. And that allows me to accurately navigate my practice into the future. You can't do that. That's why these New Age practices change every 10 years. What Dolores Cannon was saying is not the same thing as Elizabeth April and Billy Carson is saying. You guys can't even agree because you don't know what you're doing. And you don't know what you're doing because you don't know where you came from. And because you don't know where you came from, you have no idea where you're going in the future, spiritually speaking. I'm sorry that you don't like the way that I'm saying that, but it doesn't make it any less true. You can feel all attacked all you want. You can close out of this live stream, throw your phone, go meh, 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 meh. But I hope it eats at you. I hope it nags in your head until you say, you know what? I'm going to check this guy out. I'm going to prove him wrong with his own words. I'm going to look at those sources that he said. And then boom, your eyes will be opened. And you'll be back. And you'll be like, I read the things that you said. And you were right. So we can play the game if you want. We can do the dance if you want. Get mad at me. Mute me, block me, go away for a couple months. But you'll be one of those people who comments on my video 6 months from now. Hey, I don't know if you remember me, but I was the guy or I was the person in the live stream who was making fun and all this other stuff. And I finally do the research and I see what you're saying. That'll be you. So I'll see you in 3 to 6 months. But not fully, it's okay. I'm patient. I'll listen. Excellent. Not triggered. I like it. Not you specifically, Divine Catalyst. So many wonderful things can't be scientifically proven yet. That's fine. That has nothing to do with what any of those things up there. I feel him on a very logical level. Well, thank you very much. That's all I'm asking for. My answer is not the right answer. Okay, then why are you using it then? There's a new trend on TikTok called bed rotting, where you basically lazy and unmotivated. That's what I'm saying, right? Now, even though that's not New Age, that's not bed rot. So you just don't want to get out of bed? People have been doing that since the beginning of time. It's not like, that's what I'm saying. People take things and they try to reword it and remold it and make it this new thing. It's not a new thing. And not to you, but that's a good example of what I'm talking about. Why is people not wanting to get out of bed trending? That's not a new thing. I don't get it. People just want to feel special and feel different. It's craziness. Craziness. Misogyny. At least if you believe what billions on the planet say about him, religion is control, reverence to a man-made created God. Some religions are, yes. There are religions that I do not believe were man-made. But why are these topics important to you? Do you deem them important? Because I am an occultist. And I'm tired of people propagating this nonsense and deceiving people. Right? If you want to learn how to channel entities, we in the occult can show you. You do not need aliens and the Galactic Federation. We can show you. Okay? You want to really get in touch with the dead? You don't need to go on ghosthunting.com and buy a $300 spirit box, which is just an AM FM radio. Yes, the same radio in your grandma's car. That's exactly what you brought, just with the wires moved around. You bought a radio that you could have got for $5 at Radio Shack, but you spent $300 on it because it's got ghosthunting.com on it. Okay? You want to talk to ghosts? You want to talk to spirits of the dead? We can show you through necromancy and necrosophy. That's why I do this, because I'm tired of people getting deceived. I am tired of it. I'm tired of when I come on this app, or when I'm on YouTube, or any other video sharing app, that I'm subjected to nonsense about vision boards and, oh, open your heart space and, oh, the chakras and, oh, just visualize wealth and do the ching 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 does the money tree, the money comes back to me and all that nonsense and you'll be rich and you'll be wealthy and ooh. Doesn't work. That's not how it works. I wish it was how it works. But people believe it. It gets 3, 4, 5, 600,000 views because people are gullible and they believe it. Someone has to sound the alarm. It's not going to be popular. I'm not doing this for fame. Or else I would buy all my followers and I'd be at 1 million or something like that. You'd see me on every podcast. I'd be messaging people, hey, do you want to interview me? Hey, I'll pay you to interview me. Surely you know that there's an economy for that. There's a market for people paying to get on to podcasts. I'm not in this for fame. I'm in this to give you, whoever you may be, correct information that you can then utilize to take and build a proper esoteric, mystical, or occult practice. That is my purpose here. You cannot believe the number of people. Please do your own research. Isn't that your axiom in the New Age? Do your own research. Please click on my videos. Go through the comments. You tell me how many people are coming back saying, yo, I was about to, I was trying to get spiritual and I found all these New Age things and I was about to go and buy this and buy the crystals, but I came across your live stream came across or your video on this came across my feed. Thank you, bro. For the last 6 months, I've been actively engaging with spirits that I can validate are the spirits that I want to talk to. I've been astral projecting, visiting various worlds and realms, actually meeting spirit guides, actually meeting elementals, aerial spirits, planetary spirits. I've been scrying in the spirit vision. I learned how to open my third eye. Thank you. You don't know how many people have told me I've wasted years in the New Age, not progressing. Sure, I'm doing the sound bowls and I'm doing the meditations, but it's not taking me anywhere. A couple months of your recommendations and I'm actually progressing. Years in the New Age and I'm not any further than from when I started. A couple months actively doing occult work and I am light years ahead of where I was. Don't believe me? Leave the live stream and click on my videos and go through the comments. You'll see it. That's why I do this. Because I'm tired of people being led astray by the New Age, by the paranormal, by the occult conspiracy, believing nonsense and not being able, I don't care what you believe, as long as you can back it up. Notice I don't say proof. I'm not asking for proof. This is spiritual things. I'm asking for evidence. Proof is, I have Samsung Buds. No, you don't. Yes, I do. That's proof. I'm not asking for proof. I'm asking for evidence. These are spiritual things. We can't show proof in a spiritual context. I'm asking for evidence. I don't care if you believe in the flying spaghetti monster. Do you have evidence for why you believe in the flying spaghetti monster? If you can do that, you'll be light years ahead of 99% of the I'm not religious, I'm spiritual community. Most of those people cannot explain to me what they believe. They can't. If I were to say, oh, you're spiritual but not religious. Okay, what's your world outlook? Tell me your cosmology. Huh? What? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do I mean? You don't know? You told everybody else you've been doing this for 10 years. You don't know? That's a problem. But if I say that's a problem, I'm the bad guy. Oh, he's so mean, and oh, he's so low vibrational, and oh, he just doesn't get it, and why does he have to talk like that? Shut up. How about that? Shut up. Okay? I am here to make sure people have accurate information. You can take that information and do what you will with it. But I promise you, it's verifiable. You don't have to just believe me, bro. So, all right, I'm 99 questions behind, so I'm going to skip up. I'm probably going to skip your question. Ask it again. What time is it? Okay. So wait, lucid dreaming ain't no ET stuff? This is what I'm talking about. No, who told you that? Who told you that? Who has been lying to you? This is why I do this work. Someone out here believes lucid dreaming is alien stuff. What? How would one begin? Check out my Getting Started playlist. I have a playlist, a Getting Started playlist, where I have numerous videos with methodologies and techniques for you getting started. But more importantly, I have 25 recommendations for books that you can start out with as a beginner. And the vast majority of those books have a bibliography. And I recommend that you look in the bibliography and pick 3 to 5 books that are about topics that interest you, and then you get those books. You don't have to buy them. This is the age of the internet. I think we all know how to, I'm sure you all don't pay for Netflix and Hulu and Amazon. I'm sure you know what websites to go and watch your favorite shows. So do the same thing with the books. And buy or get those books and read them. And then do the same thing with those books. Look in the bibliography. Get 3 to 5 of those and read them. Practice them if they're practical books. Some books are purely foundational, purely informational, just to increase and expand your knowledge. But some books are practical. They have techniques and methods that you can utilize. Do them. Utilize them. Then come back. What is progressive to you? Energetic manipulation, astral body control, I wonder. Movement, forward, right? Wherever, I don't know what progress would be for you because I don't know what your life looks like. I don't know what your spiritual situation looks like. But wherever you are right now, being ahead of that is progress. What that looks like for you and your practice is going to be different than me and my practice. That's why you never hear me purport doing anything my way. You got not once on this live stream did I say you must do it the Hermetic way. You must do it the Grimoire tradition way. You must do it the hoodoo way or the witchcraft way. Because those are the practices that I practice. I don't say that. I say you need to do it the occult way, the esoteric way, the mystical way, of which there's numerous. Dozens, and in some cases hundreds. So what progression would look like for me in Hermeticism or Grimoire tradition or witchcraft or hoodoo is not going to look the same for someone practicing tradcraft or chaos magic or Santeria or something like that. How can you debate a non-believer? These are not for non-believers. These are for people who actively believe that they are engaging in these things. It's not for non-believers. Also notice I'm still here because he seems passionate about this. Also, so in that same vein, also notice that you're not muted. You're not blocked. I didn't kick you out or anything like that. Why? Because I'm not against opposition. No, everyone in here who doesn't agree with me is still in here talking, saying that they don't agree with me, and I'm allowing them to do it. No one's getting blocked. No one's getting muted. No one's getting kicked. Because unlike the New Age, unlike the paranormal, I'm open to opposition. I've got nothing to be afraid of. I can back up the things that I'm saying. So there's nothing for me to run from. If I don't know something, then I say I don't know. I'm not an expert. I don't know everything, even about Hermeticism or the occult. I don't know everything. That would presuppose that I've studied and practiced every single system within occultism. That's humanly impossible. I don't know everything, but I can back up what I'm saying. And so I'm glad that you're still here, but notice that you're not muted, you're not blocked or anything like that. Oops, sorry. I'm trying to scroll up. How about the past life regressionists? Some are just evil hypnotherapists. Yes. So past life regression is a real thing, but a lot of the practitioners who claim to do it are not legitimate. Yes, that is very true. There was even cases of hypnotherapists taking advantage of people, mainly women, and doing things to them while they were under. So, yeah. Why I believe Dolores Cannon proved to me I'm not crazy. I have known since I was a child. So what do you mean by that? Because I can disprove Dolores Cannon. Correct me if I'm wrong. Because I get her and another text mixed up. So is she the raw materials or is she the law of one? I get those two confused. I'm intimately familiar with both of them, but I get confused on the author. So is she the one who did the raw materials, or is she who did the law of one? I mean, actually, let me just look it up. Let me just look it up. All right. Okay, so the raw materials is Ruckert and McCarthy. Okay, so let me go back. Okay, here we go. All right. Oh wow, she wrote a lot of books. I don't see. These are all transformation type stuff. Wait, this can't be. I'm gonna use another website. This can't be all she wrote, because I don't even see some of the titles that I know she wrote for a fact. I'm gonna go to Amazon. Here we go. There we go. Jesus Christ. All right, here we go. She didn't write either of them? Oh, here we go. Here's the one that I thought it was. The Legacy from the Stars. That's the one that I get confused with. Sorry about that. What do you think of Abraxas? Well, I'm not a Gnostic, but I don't have a problem with Abraxas. I have his book, but I don't venerate or worship him or anything like that. Okay, so what's your take on what? That I do respect. Too many live hosts kick people for dumb reasons. It's usually because they can't, well, in the spiritual sense, it's because they can't answer questions. That's why they kick me and mute me. Because I don't mock, I don't deride, I don't put them down. I go, oh, so you're claiming in here to channel spirits? Okay, can you provide any sort of foundation? And they give me some ambiguous vague answer like, oh, I use energy. Stop it. Stop it. That's like me well, how does a car work? Well, it uses oil. Okay, thank you. That doesn't explain how it works. I want to know how the car works. Explain how it works. Are you a mechanic or not? Like, stop it. And next thing you know, I get muted. So it's like, all right. I feel you, but if you aren't initiated or an actual practitioner, you are not an occultist for real. So I don't agree with that. There are plenty of occult systems and traditions that do not require any sort of initiatic experience. While I went through initiation in the Elderwood tradition, that's not common. So I think he's trying to answer every single question, guys. It could be wrong. No, that's exactly what I do. Because then people start accusing, oh, see, he skipped my question. He knows he can't answer my question, so he skipped my her. So I answer every single, you're not going to get me on any of that nonsense. So yes, I answer every single question. Except the ones where you guys are talking to each other. And if I skip, I announce that I'm skipping and to ask again. However, I think your debates would be more efficient if you let people go live with you. People can go live with me. No one has requested this entire time. No one has requested. So I'm not opposition, sir. I'm listening. I'm just offering friction to see your beliefs become or melt. Well, luckily they don't melt. So just somebody from the outside who stumbled onto something far beyond your comprehension. Okay, so would you want to come up into the box and tell us? Would you like to enlighten us? And before you try to, give some nonsense explanation for why you're not going to come up in the box, even if you don't care about me, and if you don't care about teaching me anything, because I'm so high and mighty and so holier than thou and so hoity-toity, hold his nose up to everything, even if you believe that, there are 87 other people in here that you should care about. So why don't you hop up in the box and enlighten them? I'll still, dismantle everything you're saying because you have no foundation for it. But let's see what you got. Let's see if you can actually stand up against actual occult, esoteric, and mystical knowledge and information. So hop up in the box, rise to freedom. And let's see what you got. Let's see what you got. So is gravity. So is gravity what? Ace Christus Rex. Okay. What about my lucid dreams about me slaying reptilians and greys for the Galactic Federation? Well, clearly you are the chosen one of the fifth dimensional Arcturian Defense Council. I mean, that's clear. And anyone who doesn't see it is obviously low vibrational and asleep. And any other ad hominem new age attack I can throw out there. Obviously, you are the super Kamehameha cosmic galactic lord. And how dare anyone not bow down to your holy spaceship of divine chakras or, whatever other new age term you want to throw in there. Clearly that's what you are. So you swore an oath on your life not to teach the uninitiated during your opening ritual? Did you hear me say that I was a Freemason? When did I say I was a Freemason? Please, I would like to hear you play that recording back. Please. Request to come up on the live and play that recording back because I don't recall ever saying I'm a Freemason. She wrote hella books. Yeah, she did write a lot of books. Although some dreams are definitely more than just dreams. That's very true. In my countries of my parents' origin, shaman have spoken about it. Spoken about what? Yeah, I've been through a lot with my mind and ego, but my dreams are so often very helpful. That's awesome. They should be helpful. I believe I'm a divine blue BR. What's a divine blue BR? Which order did you initiate into? If you mean like a Masonic order, I'm not a Freemason, so I'm not sure why you're asking that. But I received formal initiation into the Elderwood tradition of witchcraft, initiated by High Priestess Caroline Graham, and was conferred the first degree mysteries. Blueprint starseed. Why do you think you're a blueprint starseed? Under what sort of esoteric, mystical, or occult foundation do you think that? He keeps skipping the questions I want answered. Like what? The only things I'm skipping are people who are talking to each other. So when they're eyeing each other, I don't read that because that's not for me. Other than that, I'm reading every single question. I tell people things and make them cry. I done it to strangers. I pick up on things. Interesting. Can you tell me something about myself, about my family, about my life? Make me cry? How do you actually open your third eye, and how do you know it's open? So the third eye should be looked at like a muscle, right? The only way to get bigger muscles is to work that muscle. So my advice is to work that muscle, and you work that muscle by performing divination, right? So most systems of occultism will tell you to first open your third eye and then learn a divinatory practice. But that's double the time. You can cut that time in half by killing two birds with one stone. You can just do divination and that'll work the muscle and that'll force the third eye open. So just start reading tarot cards, just start throwing bones, just start casting runes, start, casting Owam fuse, just start doing, start throwing I Ching, just start doing divination. No, it's not going to be on day one. I know that's what you're expecting because that's what Doctor Strange told you, and that's what Sabrina told you, and that's what Shadowhunters and the magicians on Netflix told you, but that's not how real magic works. It's going to take time. Like anything else in life, you need to work at it. It's called a spiritual practice, not a spiritual mastery. You need to work at it. So, your first tarot reading or your first bone reading or your first Owam or whatever, no, it's not going to be accurate. No, it's probably not going to give you any insights that you probably didn't already know. But if you continuously do it by month 3, by month 4 of continuous active practice, then you'll be getting somewhere. How do you know it's actually open? Because your divinations will start working. How do you know the car is working? Well, you can turn it on and go. So how do you know your third eye is open? Because you can turn it on and go. You'll be able to communicate with spirits. You'll have accurate divinations, those types of things. Just people being people, why you are being muted. Yeah, I don't know. I feel it's because they can't answer the question and they know that I'm not going to stop asking. I've actually had moderators in New Age live streams and things like that agree with me. I've actually had the host tell the moderators to mute me, and the moderator goes, "Well, he actually makes a lot of sense," and they ended up not muting me, and I was like, "Wow!" When your moderators are turning on you, I think I'm making some sense here. 100%. But if you aren't actively practicing said occultism, you're not an occultist, just a watcher. Well, the only way to be an occultist is to actively practice. Otherwise, you're not an occultist. You're a theorist. So some of us know, but how do you know though, right? Are you familiar with epistemology? Do you know what epistemology is? The study of knowledge and how you can, justification, how and why you know something, right? You didn't just wake up and knew it. You had to learn it somehow. What is your epistemic justification for whatever it is that some of us know, as you said there? Some of us just know. That's circular reasoning. We need a justification for why you know. Yeah, and astrology is fake. I don't agree with that, but okay. Do it. Teach me. Teach you what? What do you want to teach? Challenge accepted. What challenge? I didn't challenge you in anything. I simply answered your question. You asked me what order I was initiated into, and I told you that I wasn't a Freemason. And then I gave you the initiation that I received in the Elderwood tradition of witchcraft. Didn't challenge you to anything. But this is a classic example of people hearing what they want to hear simply because they're upset that I don't agree with them. What was the question? There was no question. That's why I don't understand why he said challenge accepted. I'm not asking any sort of question. My foundation is universal law. Can you define that? What is that? What is universal law? What about my astral travels of me? Or I already answered that before. I was initiated in Brazil. Into what? What were you initiated into? Chill, stop. I got no chill. Good evening, Mystical Rebel. What's up, Itchel? I'm not a Mason, neither am I. They ignore the 13th zodiac sign, so their stuff makes no sense. Do you mean the astrologers? Which one? Because there's a bunch of different astrology. It's not just Western astrology. There's Tibetan astrology, there's Chinese astrology, there's Hindu astrology, there's Babylonian astrology, there's Aztec and Mayan astrology. There's all kinds of different, astrological systems. Which one are you talking about? New Age term, the chakras have been around for thousands of years, also medically proven to be real. Yeah, that wasn't what was in contention. But maybe dude just wanted to know what about his dreams. Maybe he didn't think he was almighty awesome. Well then, what's the point of dreaming then, if you're not going to be almighty and awesome in your dreams? No, I'm obviously kidding there. Star seeds will be star seeds. Exactly. What are you? I'm a human being. And can you define your differences with others? From being human, some of us are big, some of us are not, some of us are fat, some of us are small, some of us are black, some of us are white, some of us are tall, some of us have hair, some of us don't. What do you mean? Abrahamic God is a pagan God that tricked us. Okay. I'm not here to debate religion, but sure. You got a good sense of humor, host. Thank you. Everyone else just thinks I'm being mean. Yeah, you're just mean. Nah, you're just a meanie. You can't tell me. Nah. That's what everyone else seems to be thinking. So, I always had a hard time believing celebs and elites were Satanists. That's because they're not. They're not. Find me any celeb. Pick one that's married. Any celeb or any elite that's married. Pick one. Now go on Google right now to find where they got married at. One of two places. Outside somewhere, like on a beach or on a mountain somewhere, at a castle, something like that, but outside. Or in a church. Not in a graveyard, not in a demonic cemetery, not in a satanic church, in a church. Some Christian denomination church. Find me a celebrity who's dead, or an elite who's dead. Find me one that's no longer with us anymore. Where did they have their funeral? In a church. Not a satanic church, not a witch church, in a regular Christian, whatever denomination, church. Funny that they do that. Funny that these Satanists get married in churches. Funny that these Satanists get buried in churches. Shouldn't they have their own cemeteries and their own weddings and stuff like that? That doesn't make any sense. I promise you, when Bill Gates stubs his toe in the morning when he gets out of bed and it's too dark to see, well, not Bill Gates because his house is automatic. If he moves, it changes. So, okay, not Bill Gates, Elon Musk or something like that. When he wakes up and stubs his toe, he doesn't go, Satan, He says, God. He cries out to God. When he's upset or when he doesn't believe someone, he doesn't go, oh my Satan, oh Lucifer. He goes, oh my God. Like a regular person. Don't you think Satanists and Luciferians would be cognizant of calling out to their rival deity? Don't you think they would be cognizant of calling out, oh my God, that they would work to undo that second nature response? Like gang members do, right? Like Bloods and Crips. How they change around their language so they don't say the same words as the other gang members. If gang members can unlearn things, you don't think that wealthy, who we think are smarter than everybody else, business people and elites and celebrities can't? They're not. They're not Satanists. It makes absolutely no sense. At least they're not Satanists as a whole. Sure, there's 8 billion people in the world. I'm sure one politician somewhere in the world might be a Satanist. Some senator, some congressman, some councilman somewhere in the backwoods of Australia or something. Sure, they might be a Satanist. But that does not mean that all of them are Satanists. Or it should follow that if there's one Muslim politician, it should also follow that they're all Muslim. If there's one Mormon politician, it should follow that they're all Mormon. Why does that logic only work in the conspiracy world for Satanists? That if one person in a group is a Satanist, they're all Satanists. If one person in a group likes children, they all like children. But if one person in the group is a Christian, they're all not Christian. That logic doesn't follow. You wouldn't like it if I said, oh, because Catholic priests like to engage with underage people, that all priests, no matter what denomination you follow, you too engage with children. You would call me crazy. You'd go, bro, that's nuts, that's wild, and you're probably being a little insensitive right now. That's what you say to me. But it's okay for you to say, well, Jeffrey Epstein did it, therefore they all do it. What? No. Doesn't make any sense. Makes no sense. All right. I'm 99 questions behind again. Let's get caught up here. Oh, we got someone who wants to come up.
Yes, I'm so thankful you let me get
Hey,
live with
good
you.
evening.
Hi. Oh, I'm sorry. Like I was, I'm still trying to figure out the live stuff, but I respect you going on live and trying to handle everybody's questions. So I didn't want to be combative first coming off. I want you to know my energy is good, and I'm
Sure,
just here to get answers. I
sure.
myself am an initiate. I initiated into modern mystery school. And before that, I was in a order out in California called Love is the Law, loveisthelaww.org. It's a Thelemic tradition.
I'm
Now,
yep.
you went through the first degree.
Of witchcraft, yes.
So do they have the same opening ritual where you see what I did was I swore an oath that says you swear on your life, or you can rip me in half, rip out my entrails, that you won't teach the uninitiated. You swear to God on your life. Do you do anything like that in yours?
No, we swear to adhere to the four tenets of witchcraft, of which number four is to be silent, but that's only for active workings. That's only for like active magic. So if I'm casting a spell, I shouldn't go around telling people that I'm casting a spell until after it works. So I can't talk about my active magic and my active workings, but there is no law against teaching people or talking about the occult in a public setting or anything like that. Or else
Is
every author under the sun is guilty of breaking that oath.
so when I realized it was real when I left that place, I was like, I'm gonna teach whatever to whoever. And this
Mhm.
spirit came upon me. It was like it felt like he was gonna rip me in half. He's like, "You ain't teaching nothing." I looked at my wife like, "Oh shit, that was real." And I called back that lady. I was like, that was real." She's like, "Yeah, duh." I was like, "Oh my god, like how do I get out of this?" Well, she said, "You're only in the first degree. You can rip up your oath, and you can turn around. Just don't go past the third degree. You're stuck." And so
Mhm.
she said most mystery schools, if not all of them, are the same. But when I went to modern mystery school, initiate, they took out the oath. I was like, oh, so there's two kinds of orders. One where you're underneath somebody's magical current, and one where you create your own current because you get to partner with the principalities because now you get the magic because you traded your soul for it. That's what I figured out.
Interesting. Okay. So I don't necessarily agree with the trading of the soul and all of that good stuff. Um, I believe that you can practice magic without engaging in any sort of soul selling or any sort of,
Well, I
you know.
do. I agree to the extent that I was imparted because magic to me is, according to Aleister Crowley, is a science and art how to make change occur in accordance with the true will. So that's
Mhm.
the definite. I don't know if yours is different definition, but to me, I can go to the veil. I fasted past 30 days. I fasted past 30 days water only twice, and so my mind's eyes open. I can see the veil. I literally can go to the throne room, but I have to worship to get in, and there's a lot of demons around me that know I'm trying to connect, and you basically go into a trance, you go down to the ground, and then your mind's eye opens, and then your field opens, and then you can see Zion underneath in the what you call dimensional shift under. I go on the yoga mat, and that's how I open the veil. But they call it the master mason, the hidden hand of the second veil. But there's not too many people that are like me. But I want to teach others. But the problem is that you need the Song of Moses to open the veil, and that can't be taught. That's only imparted to who God gives it to. But also before that, I got the circumcision. So it's as blessed as the pure in the heart, for they shall see God. The only way I can see God is if I keep the commandments. The only way I can open heaven is if I worship with the song that he gave me. And I don't know too many people that are like me. Matter of fact, like usually the magic that they carry, we get knit in heart, like say energetically through this phone, whatever anointing's with you will connect through me through the phone, and me and you will have a bond. But that's bringing the whole mountain together. I've been homeless for 3 years, getting all the tops of the mountains, seeing every pastor, every mystery school, and all the tops are with me now. But I can't. People couldn't hear me until I got all the tops. Last guy was Jonathan Kahn in Jersey, but now I'm like stuck in a hotel, and I'm pretty much waiting on what to do next. And so I'm getting stronger as I talk to diviners, talk to sorcerers, talk to witches and wizards, and as I talk to them, their magic either leaves them or we get connected. And I really believe everybody's going to get on the same page here very soon as we learn how to talk to each other and figure this out. I think that's why I like your page. I followed you because I was like, oh, this is really good stuff, because nobody's better than anybody. We're all in this together. I figured out that this is hell, and we're all here to learn judgment, learn morality as a law, and how to overcome our flesh and live in the spirit. And I believe that at some point everybody will realize that we have to do the same thing. Love is the law. We have to learn how to forgive ourselves, forgive each other, love each other. The only way you're going to do that is if it's put in you, and the only way it can be put in you, start asking the right question, which is, what am I missing? And then ask for it, and then you'll get it. But I think I wanted to tell you at least part of my story, so that way I can hear you. What is your goal now? Like, what now that you initiated and now you're on here? What do you want to do? What's your goal?
So do you mean my goal with like my channel, or
Yeah.
like my goal with my spirituality? Oh, well,
Both.
the goal with the channel is to build a bridge between the new age and the occult, the paranormal and the occult conspiracy and the occult, so people in those realms can understand the realities of the things that they think that they know, and come to the realization of the historical and academic facts of the things that they are practicing.
So I have something I can share with you. If you look me up on Facebook, I go by the Storm Doctor,
Okay.
facebook.com/the Storm Doctor. It's all one word. It's the King
Okay.
James code. So when I fasted, that's where I got my language first, was King James. But then I started getting New Age language as I started visiting diviners. And so if
Mhm.
everybody's going to come together and we're going to start solving problems, you already know a new world order has to come. The church has demonized it, but everybody has to get together with one government, one currency. You can see that that's the solution. I'm pretty sure you can see that's the solution. But we can't treat symptoms anymore. We literally have to solve problems, and we have to detach things from the monetary system. And literally, instead of working to live and living to work, we have to work to get a job done. And that would require a new economy. I really believe that there's root causes for everything. We can solve the problem if we learn to come together. But everybody's divided on stupid issues propagated by the media.
Agreed. I agree
So
with
you
that.
see, we're gonna come to one mind, one accord. I felt energetically connected to you. My teeth chatter when it happens, but there's a connection between me and you now, which I'm very thankful for. So not only will you be able to hear what I'm saying, but you'll be able to see it too. It's seeing eye to eye. So this is what Zion is. Zion is the heavenly Jerusalem that's going to come down. In Daniel, there's a prophecy. It says the robbers of the people will try to establish a vision, but they will fail. And so there's Zionists and globalists that want to establish this vision by perpetuating fake wars or making wars, and then making war profiteering off of it. But really, the real Jerusalem is conversion. And it's not about a skin color or a heritage of a religion. It's a literal being, the state of oneness where you're being Jerusalem, not trying, not doing. It's not an act, it's a transformation. And that transformation is going to come soon as people start fasting, start seeking, start asking, start wanting to really know the answer. When the student is ready, the teacher will appear, and we're all going to be seeing eye to eye here really soon. I've
Well,
suffered
I
for
certainly
this
hope that
movement.
outlook comes to pass. I certainly hope that that does happen. But thanks for coming up here, man. I'm gonna continue on with the stream. But thank you,
Hey, thanks for the connection, man.
of course. And you enjoy your weekend, brother.
You too. Bye bye.
Thank you. Awesome, awesome. Thank you for coming up.
See that, guys? I'm not mean. I'm not mean. I'm not a bad guy. But I really do this shit. All right. Let me scroll down a little bit here. I got way behind. Let's see. Talking to each other, talking to each other, talking to each other. Each one must find inspiration in knowing that he can be in communication with the teacher within. What's a star seed? Someone who's appropriating Hopi lore and mythology. Hope turned into faith through action becomes manifest. I'm glad that you added the action. That's what the New Age forgets. They just want to hope and dream and believe. You need action, right? You can put a mansion on your vision board, right? But you're not going to get that mansion unless you actually do things to make money. Whether that's marrying a wealthy person, whether that's tripping and falling in Walmart for fake and suing them, whether that's, starting a business and actually making the money yourself. That's how you're going to get a mansion, not just by putting it on your vision board and hoping and dreaming that it happens one day. So, all right. It's 10:50. Got about 10 more minutes or so on here. Then I'm going to hop off. That'll be about 3 hours for this evening. Just like last night. We did 3 hours last night. We'll do 3 hours tonight. The reception of living thought from infinity is affirmation of man as a spiritualized being. What do you mean from that? The last time I stepped into a church, I burst into flames. Really? I'm sorry that happened to you, but I'm glad you're okay. Sounds like you survived. Sounds like you survived those 3rd-degree burns. Skin grafting? Is that how they healed you back? A real pagan. They're in great, embellished, indestructible reality right now. I'm not sure what you mean. Real, recognize real. I agree with that. The speaker needs Jesus, and I'm not a Christian, but man, what makes you think I don't have Jesus? A spirit illumined through many achievements will preserve a clear recollection. So it sounds like you're just stating random quotes. Where, like, are you reading some New Age website and you're just reading quotes, or where are these coming from? All thoughts are prayers, all words are prayers, all actions are prayers. I do not agree with that. Prayer is focused and has a specific intent behind it. Hey, I just got back. Had to run to the doorman. The doorman? Are you rich? What you mean, the doorman? Do you live in like New York? Like Fifth Avenue? Park Place? And you had to run down to the doorman? Where do you live? What is this? Are you wealthy? Because I'm looking for an investor to start my Hermetic church. If you give me money, I can't promise you a return right away, but I'll promise you I will make you a bishop in the church. So you'll have power to abuse. So DM me and we can discuss how to transfer the money. God will not stop trying to show us this one universal truth. What's the one universal truth? I need structure. Been reading Golden Dawn Self-Initiation. Now hold on. Life is chaotic right now. So I'm not a Golden Dawn practitioner. So I probably can't help with whatever you're reading within Golden Dawn literature. I would recommend my friend who I go live with on Sunday. So I'll be live with him tomorrow night. Quinn from Man of Medim, the Man of Medim channel. He came up in Golden Dawn. I came up in witchcraft. So my foundation is witchcraft. Specifically the Elderwood tradition. His foundation is Golden Dawn. He would be a better person to ask about things specifically related to the Golden Dawn. Do you see that, New Agers? Do you see what I just did? I admitted I don't know something, and then I gave them who they can go to get that information. Do you see how easy that was? No one thinks any less of me because I admitted that I don't know everything, right? No one is like, ah, well, he doesn't know about going dawn. Well, then I'm out of here. That's what you think is going to happen in your live streams. If someone comes in and asks, hey, how are you channeling these angels? And you go, I don't know. I think they'd respect you a lot more. You might not get any more clients because you have no idea what you're doing, but they'll respect you because you were honest instead of trying to scam them and charlatize them. But you're a charlatan. You're a mountebank, as Johnny Depp said in Sweeney Todd. That's what you are. Not you, Itchel. I'm talking about the New Agers. I have no earthly father to look up to. Oh my. I realize now that my heavenly father taught me to be a man. Well, I agree with that. That is one thing that you've said so far that I do agree with. Joy is greater than health and success. It can exist amid sickness and humiliation. That is true. Look to the east. Palestine doesn't agree with Zion. Yeah, that's why I wasn't really going to get into that aspect of it, of what he was saying. I was trying to be cognizant of what's going on in the world currently. Who says you can't practice magic and believe in God? The Christians, but they're wrong. I mean, grimoire tradition is an entire tradition of Christian magic. Rosicrucianism is an entire tradition of Christian magic. Martinism even has some magical elements to it, right? Yeah, I'm not sure what they're talking about. Hey hosts, wondering, are there things I should be aware of getting into the Sefer Yetzirah? I do not study or practice any of the Kabbalistic or the traditional rabbinic Judaic texts. I'm familiar with them, but I am not qualified to give you any instruction on them. I would recommend you reach out to a Kabbalist. Unfortunately, I do not know any Kabbalists personally. I've interacted with plenty, but I don't know any of them personally that I could send you to them. But I would look into reaching out to a Kabbalist, of which I am not. I'm a Hermeticist. They are cousins. They come from the same region of the world, but I don't practice. What do your ghost hunting methods look like? Nothing, because I don't do ghost hunting. If I want to talk to a spirit of the dead, I petition the gatekeeper of a cemetery. I leave them offerings. I enter. I do a divination to find the grave of the spirit that may want to work with me. Then I go to the grave. I knock on the grave, present an offering, ask them, do a divination. If they agree, then I pay for the graveyard dirt, ritualistically take the graveyard dirt, leave an offering, leave the graveyard, leave another offering, do a cleansing to remove all of that death energy that just got on me. And then I go home with my new graveyard dirt and access to my new working relationship, slave, whatever you want to call them. That's how you interact with spirits of the dead in the occult. That's how you interact with ghosts, not ghost hunting. Do you ever wonder why these ghost hunting shows never end up anywhere? Because they're not doing anything. You'll watch a whole season and there's no resolution. There's no resolution to it. The spirit is still there. They didn't get rid of it. They didn't help it move on. So you wasted a season. Some network gave you millions of dollars and you wasted it. I mean, maybe not. Maybe you were able to recoup it from advertising dollars, but there's nothing to entice, at least me. Maybe you're, and I don't mean you specifically, but maybe people, I'll say that, maybe people are gullible and will continue watching even though nothing of note is happening, but not me. So, not me. I want to check something. Y'all know the app Pluto TV? Pluto? The Pluto app? Were you aware that the Pluto app has... Oop, I found it. Here, let me show you. Let me make this bigger. Big head. That'd be big head. And then let me flip camera. All right, so we're on Pluto. Right? Pluto TV. Right? Pluto. This is the Pluto app. That's the Pluto app, right? Pluto TV. And I'm going to have to flip my camera this way. You can see right there, they've got a paranormal channel. You're watching Alien Mummies of Peru, and they got a ghost hunting channel, Ghost Hunters Dudley Deadright. So we're going to click on Dudley Deadright. There it is right there, Ghost Hunters, right? Whatever they're hunting, they're not going to find it. They're not going to end up. And I'm on live TV, so this is live right now. All of you right now can go on your computer like I did, go on Pluto, and maybe with a second or two delay, this will be the same thing. Whatever they're hunting right now, they're not going to find a resolution. And then the next episode, well, this is a different one. This is Manor of Mystery, so it's not the same as this one. But if it was like a marathon of the same John, there would be no resolution. I promise you, at the end of this episode, what does it say they're hunting? A homeowner's property backs up to land where a cursed 1740s village once stood. Could evil entities have traveled from that property to this one? Ooh, they're not going to find anything. All these cameras, all this setup, they're not going. All this girl walking through nothing's going to happen. Okay, they're not going to find anything, and it's going to end up with nothing. 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 You guys think this works? Walking around a house with your little flashlight and your shorts on and your bald head? You ain't better than me. I'm a better bald. You think this how it works? I'll challenge you to a battle of the bald heads, and you'll lose. My head versus your head. You're gonna lose. This don't work. Old ass kitchen. That shit don't work. What the hell's out on the wall? That shit don't work. Samantha underscore Halls. I'm gonna tweet you and I'm gonna say this shit don't work. I'm gonna say, what is your epistemic justification for any of this? And she'll go, huh? Nonsense. Playing with the windows, it don't work. Nothing in this house works. Like your ghost hunting methods. They don't work. All right. They don't work. They don't work. Everything was noticeably more colorful, and I saw everything in more detail, and yes, I was sober. Interesting. Where can I read books? Amazon? Your local bookstore? Is that a real question? Where can I read books? I did like watching Penn State Paranormal, college kids from Penn State. Listen, I used to party at Penn State because I went to college at CPC, Central Pennsylvania College. We were down the river from Penn State Harrisburg. Well, so I should clarify. I partied at Penn State Harrisburg. Let me tell you about the kids at Penn State. Fucking great, actually. Greatest parties I've ever been to, actually. So, but the paranormal nonsense is nonsense. But the party scene is great. So, A+ for the party scene, F+ for the paranormal scene. How do you shield yourself? So you can look into shielding and warding techniques. Common is stuff like, the 12D shield generation technique and stuff like that. You can, if you have knowledge of making witch bottles, you can hang those up around openings, like windows and doors, chimneys and stuff like that around your home. If you have a relationship with any sort of protective spirit, like your ancestors, or even like a psychopomp or anything like that, you can task them with protecting you. If you're familiar with the creation of servitors, you can task them. Jason Miller wrote a good book. Called Protection and Reversal Magic. Here, let me do it like this. There you go. Protection and Reversal Magic. A Witch's Defense Manual by Jason Miller. So you can check this out. This will show you how to not only shield and ward yourself, but also how to reverse any negative magic done to you. So if another practitioner cursed you or hexed you or did any sort of negative magic to you, you can undo it. You can undo it. How is this still on TV? I don't know. I don't know. Right now it's a PlayStation commercial for NBA 2K24. But I don't know. But it's the same thing with the Paranormal channel. They're showing aliens right now, the mummies of Peru, but... And you want to know what I find funny about these shows? They are, like, this is what I meant earlier when I was talking about how the new age changes every, 10 years. Every 10 years, there's some new paradigm that you guys come out with no explanation on why the old paradigm doesn't work anymore. Oh, wait, no. You guys say, we shifted into the fifth, or we're no longer in the fourth dimension, we're now in the fifth dimension, and all this other nonsense. No sort of foundation for why we're in the fifth dimension. But, okay, we're in the fifth dimension. But this is a perfect example of what I was talking about, of how these things change, right? If you think this is old, there are older ghost hunting shows, right? Remember the shows where it was usually all older people? Very rarely were the young. It was all older people, and they were being interviewed, and they were all getting abducted, and it was violent, right? They were violently abducted. The aliens came into their room and took them up and probed them, did all kinds of unspeakable things to them, and then wiped their memories, put chips in them, in their shoulders, and all. Remember those? Where are those guys? Those guys are nowhere to be found. It went from alien abductions are these violent things that I don't want, to literally you've got new agers like Elizabeth April telling you how you can induce an alien abduction. How did it go from it's violent and I don't consent to this to it's the most positive experience ever and everyone's consenting to it? It changes. Like the wind. It is ridiculous. So you're clearly not a fan of Zach Bagans. I tagged you in the Your Mom video. I saw that. I'm trying to remember. Oh, okay. So you're talking about the ghost hunting video where somebody was doing they were listening to the spirit box and the spirit box said your mom. That's right. Yes. I saw that. No, I'm not a fan of any of that stuff. I laughed. I tagged, laughing emojis, or I wrote laughing emojis under your tag. But, yeah, no, I'm not a fan of any of that. This is a long commercial. How long will the commercial on for? Jesus Christ. They'll be hunting something else or they won't find, they'll be hunting something else they won't find next episode. Exactly. So in Ghost Hunter's Manor of Mystery, what does that say? A museum director and a volunteer are fearful that an upcoming Victorian exhibit about the Victorian era and spiritualism will uncover a sinister spirit. No, you're not. You still work there. So you're obviously not fearful of much of anything. You still work there. So shut up. Just stop playing with me. And now they're back, walking around this dark, old house with cameras, and that's really about it. Hey, is there anybody here with us? And then they hear oh my, did you hear the knock? It's a ghost, oh my God! Ridiculous. He looked at you when you said that. He must have heard me through the TV, or through my monitor. This is ridiculous. If ghosts can knock on the walls and do all that, obviously they can affect physical things. Why don't they just pick up a knife and try to harm you? or at least try to scare you, right? Because people love to say, oh, the ghosts or the demons are knocking on the walls to feed off of your fear. Knocking on the wall is not scary. Do you want to know what is scary? If I wake up in the middle of the night and a butcher knife is floating over me and no one is holding it. That's scary. That's going to induce fear. That's not scary. That means somebody's at my front door. And I need to go see who it is at 2 o'clock in the morning, which I'm not going to do because there's no reason why someone needs to be at my door at 2 o'clock in the morning. Scam artist, somebody trying to rob me. I'm not answering the door at 2 o'clock in the morning. So, I don't get it. All right. Let me get through these last 50, and then I'll hop off. I'm never gonna get off here. Ghosts and spirits are real, no doubt, but ghost hunting is BS. Amen. Can music help astral project? If you find it helpful, it's not designed to do that. I mean, maybe someone out there has like a binaural beat something or whatever that's designed for astral projection. But no, you don't. I mean, it's not necessary. But if you find it helps you, there's nothing wrong with using music to help you induce an altered state of consciousness to induce astral projection. There's nothing that I would have against it. I don't use music, but for that, I do use music for other things, but I don't use music for astral projection. But if you do, that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. Since necromancy isn't about zombies, can you please explain from your perspective what it is? Necromancy is simply working with the dead. That's it. In a spiritual context. So I don't mean that if you are in funeral director school or mortuary school that you practice necromancy. That's not what I'm saying. It's in a spiritual context. Necromancy is simply working with the dead. That's really all it is. Whether it's ancestor veneration, whether you're using graveyard dirt to, work with the dead in a folk style sorceress capacity, whether you're using them as a psychopomp, whatever. Necromancy is using the dead to fulfill your spiritual or magical purposes. So. And necrosophy is the wisdom of the dead. This is where the veneration of the dead would come from, right? So in necrosophy, they would actually venerate the dead. They would venerate their ancestors or their saints and their folk heroes and their legends and things like that after death. And this would allow soul elevation in the afterlife, which would elevate their soul higher than other human souls, which is seen as a sign of respect. So paranormal investigation shows are funny. Are you aware that there's a vampire hunting show? Literally. I didn't know this until this past summer when I was in Florida. And it was a night where we weren't going to go out or do anything. So I was sitting in the hotel room. I was like, all right, I'll just watch some TV. And I found a similar channel to this, and it was vampire hunting. Not ghost hunting, not psychics, vampire hunters. And it was a reality show like this. It wasn't a scripted show. It was clearly fake. It was a reality show. So even though I know it's fake, and I'm sure the producers and the people on the show know it's fake, there's someone out there, and by someone I mean millions of people, who are going to believe that there are vampires roaming around America and that these two vampire hunters are needed to keep the streets clean. It is ridiculous. Them Peruvian movies were bought at Party City. Peruvian movies? What do you mean? Oh, you mean the Serbian movies. Wink, wink. The Fourth Kind. The Fourth Kind was scary. I like that movie. That movie was creepy. Alien on the John start floating in the seat while I'm giving you the hypnosis? Nah, that's wild. I'm out. If I was that therapist or whatever, and I'm asking you questions about your problems, and you go, oh, and you start floating, I'm out. I quit. I'm never coming back here no more. You gotta find somebody else. Dude floated in my office. I'm out of here. I never understood what shifting meant. Like, wouldn't you not be part of this reality? Well, they claim that you're shifting into a new reality that you bring into this reality. Some nonsense. I did a certain type of ritual when I was young. It worked, but it confirmed spirits are real for me. Do you mind telling us what ritual you did? You obviously don't have to. I'm just curious. He's got a death wish in the spirit realm. They know him, but it's because he knows not what he does. Well, sorry, Zach. I'm sorry if the spirits have it in for you. Honest question. As an African American, is there a practice I'd be more compatible with? Any of the ATRs or most of the ADRs? Yeah. Look into them. Look into the African traditional religions or the African diaspora religions. What happened to Bigfoot, Chupacabra, Mothman? Exactly. I don't know. The Goat Man. There's even shows now about like the Hat Man and Slender Man, and I'm like, all right, guys, like, stop it. Why are they showing commercials for dramas on a reality TV station for the Ghost Hunters channel? This isn't terrestrial television where they would have sister channels, right? Yeah, now I'm looking at a commercial for Paramount Plus Ink Masters. This is Pluto. Why am I looking at a competitor advertisement? Pluto, are you that broke that you're taking money from your competitors? I dare HBO. Sorry, Max. Can't call it HBO. It's Max now. I dare Max to show me an ad for something coming on Stars or Showtime. That'll never happen. Yet here I am watching Ghost Hunters channel, and I'm watching a commercial now for the classic crime drama channel. Doesn't make any sense. Get your advertising ordered. How about when the little boy was walking in the walls, possessed? The little boy was walking in the wall. In the fourth kind? What? I don't remember that scene. The little boy was walking in the wall? I don't remember that. The only time I saw a little boy was whenever his mom was like upset about the other kid getting taken. What's more scarier if the ghost eats my leftover... Oh, what's more scary is if the ghost eats my lemon pepper wangs. I love lemon pepper, but I like the dry rub, not the sauce. I like the dry rub. I don't like the lemon pepper like sauce, where you just put it over a chicken nugget. Like, that's ridiculous. I need the dry rub. That's dope, but hey now, Azalea Baggins is dope, right? Azalea Baggins? Who's that? You mean Azalea Banks? She's a witch, for real. She's a real witch. Santeria, I think she practices. Haven't done any genealogy. Easter mysticism seems to attract to me the most. I remember 13 years ago, people were saying you have to meditate without music. Yeah, now things change. Like, see? And then they have no reason why it changed. It just changed. What's the GFL? The Galactic Federation of Light, not the trash company. I know some people might live near, might have a trash company called GFL, but not that. It's the Galactic Federation of Light. Sparkling in the sun. Vampires are the true elites. I wish. I wish vampires were real like they are on TV. Like Queen of the Damned. Those are the best vampires. Like Queen of the Damned, but unfortunately they're not. Oh, the show's back on. This is the part where they give their results, right? Where they talk about all the experiences they had with the owner of the home, show them all the footage, but at the end, they're just going to say, oh, well, guess you got a ghost. All right, have a nice day. Like, that's it. They're not going to say, okay, well, we know how to get rid of the ghost. We have to, they're not going to do anything like that. It'll just be, guess you have a ghost. Good luck. Pay us now. It's good to see people making sense on this app. I do my best to make sense. I do my best to have sense and make it. What is the name of that reverse spell book? Protection and Reversal Magic by Jason Miller. Protection and Reversal Magic. It's on Amazon. It's like $20. It's a bit embarrassing, but it was the succubus letter summoning ritual. Oh, I've never heard of that ritual. Interesting. I don't know if it was a succubus that came for sure, but it was definitely something. At least you can admit that, right? Because that was my main hang up. But I was going to move on. I didn't want to, but at least you can admit that you're not sure if what came is what you intended. And this is a problem we see in the New Age, the paranormal, and novices in modern day witchcraft, right? Everybody just believes that, well, I called this thing and therefore something came, or I called this thing, something came, and therefore it must be the thing that I called. No. Like, why would that be? Surely you've called people on the phone before and someone else answered, right? Like, it doesn't always have to be the person that you called, right? Especially if they have a significant other, right? Sometimes that person will answer the phone. Yeah. So you got to verify, right? How would you like it? Take this, for example. Let's as above, so below this, right? You call the spirit and another spirit shows up and you don't validate. Let's as above, so below that. Let's take it into the mundane. Let's take it out of the spiritual and into the mundane. Let's say you get a call, or you call into your bank or your credit card or your car note or your mortgage company. And you say, hey, it's me. And you say your name. I want to do this on my account. And they just go, yup, it's you. No verification needed. I'm not going to ask you the last four of your social, your date of birth, the password that you have on. None of that. I'm just going to believe it's you, and I'm going to give you access to all these accounts and all this money and whatever else you got going on. You would probably sue that company because that's a violation of like almost any kind of privacy law. As above, so below. Validation is also required in the occult. So I'm glad that you, at least at 17, or maybe not at 17, but now you have the experience to recognize that even though something did come, you can't be sure if it was what you intended to come. Felt like an ethereal finger was running over my skin. That sucks. See, I summon, and like, the funny thing about those types of experiences is, as much as I interact with demons, as much as I interact with angels, as much as I interact with planetary spirits, elementals, area spirits, I've never had those types of experiences. Now, when people stay over and they sleep here, they've told me that they've had experiences, but I'm like, what are you talking about? I literally talked to the demon an hour ago. He didn't do nothing to me in my sleep. He ain't touching me. He ain't feeling all on my booty. But for some reason, when you sleep out on the couch or when you use the guest room or whatever, they're feeling all on you. Not you, but like, I have people come here and did you get up in the middle of the night and go get a drink out of the... No, I rarely leave my bedroom in the middle of the night. Unless I have to use the bathroom. There's no need for me to wander around the house in the middle of the night. I'm sleeping or watching TV and I'm not wandering around the house. Well, somebody I was walking... You're probably dreaming. No, I'm not dreaming. I saw some... I heard footsteps, blah, blah, blah. Why don't I hear any? And I'm a light sleeper. Nobody's touching me. Nobody's feeling on me. Nobody... I don't get it. And I always ask that question because I don't know too many occultists that have those types of experiences. It's weird that those experiences don't happen to occultists. They happen to everyone else. It's so funny. It's funny that demons never possess us. They possess the Christians. Like, it doesn't, the people who dabble with demons, the people who lie down with demons, the demons don't affect. They affect the people who should have every protection against them. It's weird. Gary, Indiana. Michael Jackson is from Gary, Indiana. Besides Hermetic Magic and the Corpus, what other Hermetic text do you recommend? I recommend Stephen Skinner's Techniques of Greco and Egyptian Magic. I recommend the Greek Magical Papyri. I recommend the I recommend the Demotic Magical Papyri, not the demonic, the Demotic, which is a region in Egypt. I recommend Theurgy or the Hermetic Practice, a treatise on spiritual alchemy. That should get you started. Hermetica 2. I recommend The Secret History of Hermes Trismegistus by Florian Ebeling and Jan Osman. I recommend Antoine Favre's Western Esotericism, A Concise History. These are all good books that can give you a fine introduction to Hermeticism. All right. I'll do 5 more minutes. It's 11:24. I should have got off 24 minutes ago, but I'll get off at 11:30. Jason Miller is a goat. Miller was teaching truth. I like Jason Miller. I'm a huge fan of Jason Miller. Do you get any sort of fun out of debating nut houses? Sometimes. There are other times where like I'm like, wow, this person really needs like spiritual help and someone needs to correct them. But there are times where yes, I know that the person is speaking nonsense. What the heck is this show? Oh, another ghost hunt. And it's a store? There's a ghost hunted store? Stop it. Stop it. The ghost wants the purses, huh? Wants the candy. The ghost is he's trying to steal the candy and the bracelets is what the ghost is doing. You have a haunted store. Stop playing with me. But anyway, sorry. Sometimes I do, yeah. It's the real ones that gets less views. Yeah, I should know. Maybe spirits are scared of bald people. Maybe they're like, he's got no hair. He must be a demon. I used to hear things walk around my home in the 5th grade. Yeah, I don't know. I go out in the woods alone all the time, looking aliens, chupacabra, skinwalkers, somebody. I'm here. Take me. I'm here. Nope. Meanwhile, I'm on Reddit and I read everyone else's stories. Everyone else gets taken. Me, I'm like, here I am. Here's my butt cheeks presented to you. Nope, they don't want it. After a while, I was just a 17-year-old boy, and it was my first time doing a ritual. No problem. Hermes. I participate in parapsychology research at rensep.org. Rensep.org. What's that? What is rensep.org? All right, Pluto, we're out of here. We're out of here, Pluto. Rensep.org. What is that? Let's see. I don't like this guy's haircut. Okay, here we go. RENCEP, Research Network for the Study of Esoteric Practices. Interesting. Actually, I think I have heard of this. Occulture, okay, that's a legit conference, so okay. Okay, all right. I like what I see so far. I'm sure I won't agree with everything on here, but I mean, that's par for the course. Funding. Who funds you? Who's behind you? Some globalist Illuminati agenda? No, just kidding. Let's see. I don't know any of this. Oh, well, I know Dean Radin, but oh, hey! Stephen Flowers is a professor at the same school. That's awesome. Nice. Okay. I like what I see here. All right. This is cool. Thank you for bringing that to our attention. Rensep.org. Everybody, go check out rensep.org after we hop off here, because I'm going to be hopping off here in a few minutes. Thank you for that, Luna. Good, not goid. All that light directly on your head, Rebel. All this, all the light, you see it? Shining. My head is shining. Rub it for good luck. Rub my head for good luck. Maybe the aliens think you're desperate. Maybe, because I'm out there yelling at them. People walking by thinking I'm crazy. They think I'm the alien. No, I'm joking. Obviously, there's no one out there in the woods when I'm out there. Or else they'll get taken. Alien skips over me, takes them. And I'm like, yo, okay, now you're just being racist. No, I'm joshing. I'm joshing. At least I'm not Anthony. Just kidding. Cool, I'll check out the site. Yeah, check it out. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you. English is my third language. Write the website in the chat. They already did, but where do I go to comment? Here we go. rensep.org. Note, I do not endorse them. I just like what I see so far. So don't take my putting him in the chat as I endorse them 100%. But I like what I've seen so far. So far. So far. You're welcome. You're welcome. What's your first language and your second language? If you don't mind me asking. What's your first language and your second language? Anything cool? Spanish and Portuguese. Ah, okay. Ai, seu te pego. You're too smart and useful for the alien smoke. For the alien smoke? Listen, if the aliens want smoke, bring it. I'll fight an interdimensional being on his ship. I'll fight him on his turf. So he has the home field advantage. Let's go. Winner takes the ship. So if I win, I get the ship. I fight for pink slips. I want the keys to the ship or the... I don't know what they use. I don't know. I don't know what they would use. The push to start, whatever it is. I like how when people have evidence of this stuff, he just ignores the truth. When has anybody provided any kind of evidence? No one has provided any kind of evidence at all. Please, Robert, tell us what evidence was provided, please. When I was a kid, we were celebrating Dad's B-Day. Dim lights, walls began to bang. Haunted. So you're sure that wasn't like a setup? On ships, LOL, on his turf. That's right. We fight on their turf. Because when I win, I'm taking that ship. And I'm a light year travel back to your world, and I'm going to beat up everybody there too. And I'm taking their ships. And I'm coming back to Earth, and I'm getting all y'all, and we going to the alien world. And we going to take over. And we're going to probe them. We're going to abduct them. And we're going to, and all the things that they did to us on Earth, we're going to do to them. We're going to abduct them and probe their butts. That's what we're going to do. See how they like it. I take videos of all kinds of paranormal. Really? Where do you post them? All right, it's 11:30. Let me get through these last couple. I noticed, Robert, you haven't responded, Robert. You didn't let us know what evidence was provided, Robert, because there was none, as I was expecting. You weren't going to say anything. Walls banged 2 times. All men ran out, surrounded house, and no one. Used to hear like fighting in the attic. Oh, wow. Sounds like you might have a really haunted house then. You'd be the alien in that scenario. I would be the alien. I'd be the alien. And I'll let you know I'm here. I'm not going to send no message to no random person. I'm going to appear in the sky. Yeah, Mr. Grubble's here. Pew, 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 pew. It's over. I'm taking over. And I'll play my theme song. I'll play a theme song, and then they'll know it's me. Kurt Angle's entrance music from WWE, if y'all remember that. That'll be my theme song. Good old America. Taking stuff over, like always. He said he had a video of elites worshiping Moloch, but he can't show it. Great. So he's got a video, but he's not going to show it. Wonderful. Oops, sorry. All right. Let me get through this last one here. You can show them if you want orbs and Andromedon. Did you tell us where you posted it? It's on your TikTok. Okay. All right, I will take a look at that once I hop off of here. Because of child stuff. Oh, okay, sure. That's why you can't show it. What do you understand about life after death? I understand that if you don't know how to navigate back to God, if you don't know how to ascend through the spheres, you're going to wander, or you're going to end up back through reincarnation. I have a full video on that if you want me to go deeper. I don't have time this evening. I should have got off here 30 minutes ago. But I have a video on the Hermetic Afterlife. Back house at the record address. What? He said he couldn't show it because of the child stuff in it. Yeah, that stuff can be blocked out. Like, is he not aware that we live in the 21st century where, like, 2 seconds on clip champs on your computer can block that out? Now tell me about Hermes Megistus. And that's you guys talking to each other. Okay, all right. So it looks like I reached the end of the comments, questions, blah, blah. So I'm going to hop off of here now. Thank you guys for the last 3.5 hours of commentary, discussion, debate. Unfortunately, we weren't able to get anybody except for the one guy up in the box. But maybe next time we'll have some more people who want to come up and debate their position. But until then, I will see you guys in the next one. I'm not sure if I will be live tomorrow during the day. Maybe. I don't know. Depends on how I feel. But of course, I'll be live tomorrow evening, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with Quinn from Man of Medim. We will be reading from Agrippa's 3 Books of Occult Philosophy. We are still in book 1. We're on chapter 55, I think, something like that. So we will be reading from Agrippa's 3 Books of Occult Philosophy tomorrow, 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. But until then, I will catch you guys in the next one. And as always, seek the mysteries. Peace.